treasure nail or a coin, we all share the same First Tuesday love. First Tuesday kisses to you all.
New scratch-offs every first Tuesday of the month.
Must be 18 to play. Problem gambling helpline, 877-718-5543.
Hey, it's Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. If you're like me, you're getting crushed by rising costs of everything these days. I get it. It's brutal, and credit card rates are ridiculous and going higher. That's why at Loan Pronto, we launched our Express Equity Line of Credit to bring you the relief you and your family need, using your home, your most valuable asset. We've helped thousands of people like you get fast relief with cash. The average homeowner who does this gets tens of thousands in just days and is able to save $850 per month in overall expenses. I'm talking life-changing money. Your money that you have access to right now. Listen, if you're ready to get control of your finances and get off the hamster wheel, call Loan Pronto. You can get approved for Express Equity Line of Credit in just minutes, and we can get your cash in less than a week. Stop digging a deeper credit card hole today. Call Loan Pronto now. 919-381-1760. 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. 919-381-1760.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback!
Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Variably cloudy skies for us this afternoon. Definitely warm and sticky. It feels like summer out there. A few isolated showers or thunderstorms. We drop back into the upper 60s tonight and right back up to 89 for tomorrow, again with a chance of a shower or thunderstorm.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit Newcomb & Company. .com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is down 237 points to 38,449. Market update brought to you by The Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to The Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities. This hour of the Fan brought to you by FC Series. It's the summer of soccer in the Triangle, with TST Stars competing for $1 million and Manchester City taking on Celtic at UNC in July. Get discounted tickets at fcseries.com/Carolina and use the code TRIANGLE.
Love guarded by Keels, gets a screen, pulls up for three. Got it! Caleb from straight away! Jones with one. Jones puts it up at the buzzer. Yes! He ties the game!
Joining with a long rebound, kicks ahead to Smith. 3-ball, right side.
Bang!
Shotgun snap. Bryce Young, pressure off the backside. Throw to the end zone. Chark pulls it in with his fingertips.
And another chance, and the save's made by Anderson. And the fans will tell you, did you have a good night?
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly on a Monday. Dennis Cox producing the show as always. Day 10. Canes still without a permanent GM. Day 10. Which means one of my bold predictions from Friday's show not coming true, because I said they'd have a GM by showtime today, as of about a minute ago. That's a buzzer. But we're learning more and more and more about this search, right? More and more about the why. Why is it taking so long? Why did they let Don Waddell leave and obviously not have a very obvious plan for what they were going to do next? If the plan was Eric Tolsky, the interim GM, why is he still the interim GM? If the plan was, we can let Don Waddell walk, we know we'll be the hottest ticket in town, why haven't they cashed in one of those tickets? Could it be Tom Dundon, the owner, a little bit of a meddler. One of those owners that wants his fingers in every piece of the operation. Could it be that as attractive as the Canes would seem to be as a GM job, with a strong core of young players that will grow together, with a coach who's locked up for 5 more years on his contract and is pretty well accepted as one of the best coaches in the league, with a community that buys in, a hockey town, if you will. Mild climate. I don't know. Some hockey people probably want the cold, but hey, I look for the mild climate.
I think some people enjoy it around here this time during those parts of the year.
I think it's a little nice to tailgate in a t-shirt, walk inside, throw the sweater on. So why could it be that Tom Dundon is a little bit of a meddler and that's scaring some player or some GMs away? Elliot Friedman on his 32 Thoughts podcast for Sportsnet had this to say about the Canes GM job.
I heard this from someone who did not interview, but knows a couple people who did. And that is that the Hurricanes are making sure everyone's eyes are wide open about how this is all going to work. And that is that whoever gets this job is going to be the manager, but they're not going to have the power. That this job is going to be as a facilitator, somebody who collects information and brings it to the other members of the front office, well, including Tom Dundon, who obviously has a huge say. Yeah. But Eric Tulsky, Darren York, whoever's going to fulfill, Aaron Schwartz, whoever's going to be part of that front office. But the new GM hire is not going to have the final say. And what this person told me is that that some people have kind of backed away from the process because of this, that this is not going to be a traditional job.
Interesting. A GM, how about this is essentially how I'm going to boil that down from Elliot Friedman. This is the pitch to be the Canes GM. We want you to be the Canes GM with none of the power that normally comes with the GM job, and everyone is still going to attribute all of the decisions to you, because there's no way the casual public fan is going to know the inner workings of the Canes. So you make a bad signing, you make a bad draft pick, everyone's going to go boo you. But if you ever want to actually make a signing or a draft pick, you have to convince this group of people, which includes the owner and the assistant GM and probably Rod and a bunch of others, to believe what you want to believe. Sound good? Actually, I think I'll stay where I'm going to stay.
It's like the Knights Council.
Yeah, like the King Arthur's Round Table. You can be Sir Scouts a lot. If the meddling of the owner limits the pool of GM candidates for a team that wasn't on a heater, that hadn't made the postseason a bunch of years in a row, that hadn't won postseason series a bunch of years in a row, it would be seen as catastrophic. The only difference between an owner who needs to get out of the way, who needs to move on, who needs to not be so involved, who needs to let the hockey people do the hockey thing, is winning. The difference between Jerry Jones and he just needs to let the football people do the football stuff and maybe like a Tom Dundon is the fact that the Canes happen to be winning right now. If there was a situation where something being told to GMs ahead of their interview or during the interview process by the say Panthers, by David Tepper, if he was telling something to the GMs ahead of the hiring process that limited the pool of candidates, it'd be a laughingstock. The message boards would light up. We'd make a YouTube video about it. The comments would light up. But because it's the Canes, it's a not traditional structure. Because it's the Canes, it's a Knights of the Round Table. It's not a too many cooks in the kitchen. It's not a all bosses, no followers. It's not that. It's the round table. GM is just a guy that makes calls and brings info to the group to decide. Sounds to me like an assistant. Get so-and-so on the phone. We'd like to talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the GM's job is. Hey, get someone from Vancouver on the line. I want to see if they want Natchez. And then, okay, let me go into my personal Rolodex, get them on the phone. Hey, you're on speaker with the group. That's an assistant. That's an office manager. I think this will limit the quality of GM that you can realistically expect to hire. Right? I say this often. Coaches, GMs, certain positions, the reason you even end up in that industry, the reason you even end up in that like trying to play that role for a professional sports organization is because you have a bit of that like my way or the highway attitude. Not many people end up potential GMs going, I don't know, what do you think? But you end up a potential GM by saying, here's what I think, here's why it's going to work, let's do it. You're decisive. Head coaches, GMs, they're control freaks. They're that I don't know, metaphorical, goofy-sounding word, alpha. I think this, if that is the structure, if the structure is the GM is just one equal part of the pizza pie of decision-making, that will limit the quality of GM that wants to take that job. The flip side would be, if that is truly the role's kind of design, if that is truly how you expect to use a GM, it probably means you don't need a great GM. You don't need somebody that's right on 70% of their decisions because they don't get to make decisions. You need to find like a great teammate who plays their role.
I think that's the reason why Eric Tulsky is the favorite, because he already understands the process. He's been part of it. Like now he has to be, okay, you're the voice that's calling other teams and might be doing the negotiating. Okay, what are you offering? This is what we are willing to offer. Like he could be that voice now, but I think that's the reason why Tulsky is the favorite.
Or
he already gets it.
You could even keep his role almost the same, just give him a better title, probably a little bit more cash. You could keep him as the numbers savant.
Mm-hmm.
Your assistant GM can be the social butterfly that actually makes the calls.
The
right?
daring York in this situation?
Exactly. You can find, if they are truly going by this like running back by committee, general manager by committee, right? If Eric Tulsky's the third down back, you can make him the GM and keep him catching passes on third down, and then you just need to bring in an early down bruiser, which would be the Don Waddell role of having the deep Rolodex, making the calls, knowing the ins and outs of the social dynamics of the league, and being able to handle those things. Maybe that's how they do it. I just, to stay with the running back by committee analogy, I don't think that's how you end up with Christian McCaffrey.
No.
I don't think that's how you end up with a 3-down workhorse best running back in the league. Not to say you don't have a good running game. It's just to say you're not going to get the best quality candidate. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Law Tigers. Want to win a trip to the 84th Annual Sturgis Motorcycle Rally and a custom Harley-Davidson performance bagger? That's right, a trip of a lifetime plus a custom Harley-Davidson. Law Tigers are giving away that ultimate trip of a lifetime. Just got to go to stylinginsturgis.com to enter today. Prizes include a VIP stay at Glencoe Camping Resort, custom Harley-Davidson built by Lane Splitter Garage, sound system by Rockford Fosgate, turbo from Trask Performance, parts from J&P Cycles, firearms from Magnum Research, jewelry from Anvil's Cash, and bikes from Soli Bikes. I hope you got all that. But most importantly, again, you have a trip and a custom Harley-Davidson motorcycle if you just go to stylinginsturgis.com to enter today. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS if you're ever injured in a motorcycle accident. Call Law Tigers before you call your insurance company. The insurance company wants to pay you the least amount possible. Law Tigers, they're riders too. They understand what your bike and your gear are worth. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, will be back with another rung in the ladder, the next in our series of 99 questions about the college football season that'll lead you right up until opening kickoff. The next question about the college football season coming up.
We're jamming your June with championships. The NBA Finals.
The Celtics have finished the sweep. They rally again, and it's on to the NBA Finals.
The Stanley Cup Finals.
Reinhardt scores!
scores. The Panthers win Game 4.
The U.S. Open.
Payne Stewart is the 1999 U.S. Open champion. Oh, my.
Catch every winning moment with us. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
It's bow time. Listen up, because we've got some big news to share. You might want to sit down for this. Bow Sauce is back at Bojangles. If you think you missed it, just imagine how our Supremes must have felt. Because there's no better sauce to pair with our crispy golden chicken Supremes. They're already boldly seasoned to perfection, but add Bow Sauce and you can taste a truly legendary combination that will make you want to yell, "It's bow time." So don't wait. Grab a Supreme and dip into some Bow Sauce. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing to satisfy your craving for flavor with a Bojangles Chicken Supremes dinner. Choose a 3-piece or 4-piece Supremes dinner. Get your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea. And don't forget the sauce for dipping, because Bow Sauce is back. That's right, Bow Sauce is back. Hungry for flavor and value and love the Bow Sauce? Then it's bow time.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every point, every game, every layup, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a three-pointer at the buzzer to tie the game, or a player goes 2 for 2 at the free throw line. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365, official partner of the Charlotte Hornets. 21 plus only. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing, made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories, all without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver, all the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew, 30 seconds, that's it. Done. Peace.
The summer is finally here, and it's time to take advantage of Zero Res's best deal of the summer. Basically, every surface in your home can be Zero Resified. So it's time to call My Cleaning Pros at Zero Res and get 3 rooms cleaned starting at just $109 and take $100 off your air duct cleaning. If you're like me, you probably think you run the vacuum a little bit, you might swipe something down with a wet cloth, and you're good to go. But that's not the case. Vacuuming is not sufficient to maintaining the cleanliness and lifespan of your carpet. Zero Res has the top ratings, all the glorious reviews. They're out there to help you, and they have a deal that will not last long. 3 rooms at just $109. That's where it starts. And take $100 off your air duct cleaning as well. Call 919-915-0000 or book online at ZeroResRaleigh.com to take advantage of these huge savings.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. And look at you, hands perfectly placed on the wheel, not like the driver to the right of you who's really going after that drum solo. Save with DriveWise in the Allstate app and only pay a rate based on you.
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit ConsumerCellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm going to call an audible here. There it is. We're going to push the 99 questions about college football about 12 minutes. And we're going to talk college baseball right now because that sound that you just heard. Mm-hmm. You want to play it one more time just because it makes me feel. There you go.
I worked hard on it, by the way.
I mean, that sound right there, it just brings you right back to baseball when you're a kid. We have an update.
We do. Evansville defeats East Carolina 6-5. Evansville advancing to the Super Regional as a 4 seed from the Greenville Regional, only the 9th 4 seed all time to advance to a Super Regional. To put it into context, if you think of the NCAA men's basketball tournament, think of like a 13 seed getting to the Sweet 16. It's kind of like a 13, 14, actually probably more like a 14, 15 seed. In that equivalency, roughly making it to the Sweet 16. That's essentially what just happened.
First of all, tip your cap to Evansville.
Shout out to, by the way, Nina, who called in, who's an Evansville grad. She called in during the show on Friday. She was ecstatic.
Purple Aces.
That the Purple Aces won Game 1 against ECU back on Friday.
Now, with that being said, Greenville with ECU there, rocking, had their moments. Right, they walk off to eliminate Wake Forest.
Yeah,
that's something you can't be taken away from you.
Nope.
Shout out to VCU's right fielder Hill, who made a crazy home run robbery of ECU. ECU went on to win the game, so credit him there. And then today versus Evansville, they came up a run short, but 6-5. There's something about the college baseball World Series that just, it feels like every game is either 17-4 or a 1-run game. Like there's nowhere in between. It's a 9-0 or 7-6. It's just they're all that way, which has made for a very exciting weekend, which will continue. UNC versus LSU tonight. That's another winner moves on game tonight at 6 p.m. That's an incredible amount of stakes for two very, very good programs. I'm trying to think, to use your kind of college basketball example. This is when like there's randomly like a Kentucky with 5 4-stars as a 9 seed, and then you have like a strong 8 seed who finished like 5th in the ACC, and they're matched up way too early in the tournament. It's just, why is LSU and UNC playing before a super regional? But it happens, right? LSU had a slow at points in time regular season, and UNC is one of the best teams in the country. One of them will be at home after tonight, so that's going on. Give a shout-out to High Point, another North Carolina squad. They won their first regional game, I believe, in program history, and they did so by beating Vanderbilt, which over the last 10, 15 years has been the program to chase.
One of them. That's who NC State played in the College World Series a couple years ago in 2021.
High Point got their first. That's it's first regional baseball win, and it's like the basketball equivalent of taking down Duke or Carolina. It's that's a good one to go get your first.
Yeah.
UNC Wilmington. They also did not advance out, but they did smoke Georgia Tech.
They did.
Program at least once. I know they got their revenge, but that's a pretty good program there. And then we have to give a pretty massive hat tip to NC State, who hosted a regional. The entire time looked like they were the hosts of a regional. Rolled 3-0, advanced to the super regional, carrying some of the water for the ACC, which has been dominant. It's almost like when you tally up quite a few of the and I don't know why I said almost. It is like when you tally up the results from a whole bunch of different sports. Not only is NC State having a great year, but the ACC just continues to truck along. Right, great in the bowl series and football, great in non-conference schedule and football. Basketball, despite the fact that everybody wanted to say it was a down year and they didn't have the big teams and they weren't going to have a whole bunch of teams in the NCAA tournament, all they had were a whole bunch of teams playing into the second weekend, a whole bunch of teams playing into the Elite Eight, a whole bunch of teams, or a team in the Final Four. And now, again, college baseball, you can say the SEC this, you can say that conference that. The ACC, when you play games, is unbelievable at being better than the teams they are playing. I guess if you look at them on paper, it appears as if maybe the experts say that they shouldn't be better than the teams they are playing. But maybe it's the former athlete in me that says the way I judge who's better at sports is to play sports.
Scoreboard, yeah, usually goes a long, long way.
When you go to the baseball postseason and suddenly the ACC is winning all the postseason games, I'm going, you know what? It's a good way to measure who's the better baseball conference. When you go to the NCAA tournament in basketball and suddenly the ACC is playing deeper and more games into the tournament, I'm going, you know what? It's probably a better way to decide who's the best basketball conference. And in football, although it's a little bit more complicated, you don't play as many games. When you have a winning record against all the other big-time conferences and then you show out pretty well in those games, I'm going, maybe the gap isn't as big as everybody says it is. So shout out to, the state of North Carolina. Even though maybe not getting as many out of the regionals as we had hoped, there were still quite a few good showings, right? And there was still quite a few dramatic moments, walk-off wins and things like that. And then shout out to the ACC. I'm tired of having to be a mouthpiece for the conference that keeps winning. So, I'm old enough to remember when the winning spoke for itself.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have to win the game, and then you need people to go on social media and spin it for you. And it's no, they won. And they're looking strong again in the College Baseball World Series as the Super Regionals get started in the next couple of days.
I think if Carolina wins today at 6 o'clock, that'd be 5 ACC teams in the Super Regional and 2 from here in the Triangle.
We'll take it. Get it done, UNC.
Get it done.
And you know what? I know there's not many instances of this, but with Tommy Tanks on LSU, do you think there are a couple NC State fans rooting for Carolina?
No. That hatred runs deep.
But so does the
here's the thing. They'd be like, yeah,
of Tommy.
See, but that's the thing. They'd be like, we started him. Like, he was our guy first, and he's still taking down Carolina. That's what State fans would probably say.
That would be some spins on that. That's our guy Tommy getting it done.
Exactly. That's how State fans would spin it. And you know what?
Creative thinking.
Good on them.
That's creative.
Good on them.
I mean, you know me. I love a rivalry. That's creative thinking, though. I love creative thinking also. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9. The Fan, the playoffs in the NBA are all the way heated up. And so is the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. The finals. We are knocking on the door of the NBA Finals, and DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered every step of the way. Same game parlays, live betting once the games get started, odds boosts, and so much more. Don't miss out as the NBA postseason winds down. And here's the thing, you have a couple days till the finals actually get started, so you can make the most crafty, nuanced, complicated bets. All of these same game parlays, this player rebounds, that player assists, this player turnovers. Or if you're new to the whole sports betting thing, you can get it done the super easy way. Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. Go to the app, select your team, place your first bet. It's that simple, and I have something else to sweeten the deal for new customers. Bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's TIMD. Code TIMD to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. So use that code TIMD with no spaces right at sign up to get that deal only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will get to that question that's in our series of 99 questions about the college football season and more. Stick around.
Longer days mean longer rides. Make sure your bike, your ATV, your side-by-side, even your golf cart are the best around. From sound station and security, we've got custom stereo systems, custom speakers, even video and LED lighting options for your bike, your ATV, and even your golf cart. Look the coolest on the road or at the lake, just tooling around. All available with installation from Sound Station and Security, with 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
Our state's future begins with our students. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery has contributed over $10 billion to education. Through scholarships, school construction, support staff, and pre-K programs, lottery dollars move our state forward, helping students become the best versions of themselves. Visit movingncstudentsforward.com and share how your student or school community has benefited for a chance to earn $2,000 for your story. Must be 18 to play. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Dallas Rhule from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. You guys do so many things: windows, doors, siding, gutters, awnings, roofing.
Roofing is the most important part of your home. You want to make sure you keep the water out. Our roofing products made by Certainty, the shingle roofing, it comes in a lot of different colors, a lot of different styles, but it has a 50-year, 5-star warranty on all material and labor, backed by the manufacturer. It's non-prorated.
I've never heard of a 50-year warranty. I always hear like 20 or 30.
Unless a tree hits the house or you have some storm damage, it'll be the last roof you ever put on your home.
I like that. What about metal roofing?
We do a lot of metal roofing. We got the standing seam, comes in a lot of different colors, and it'll last forever, but it doesn't have the 50-year warranty like the shingled roofing does.
Sounds like you're pushing shingle roofing, which you should, probably.
It's affordable, and again, it's hard to beat because it's really the last roof you'll have to pay to put on your home.
Dallas Rhule from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina, aluminumcompany.com.
This is Heather O'Reilly, and I am so excited about the soccer schedule this summer. Come see me hit the pitch June 5th through 10th at TST, along with some of the biggest names in soccer, sports, and entertainment. TST will feature 118 matches and 56 teams competing for $1 million at WakeMed Soccer Park. Tickets start at $38 and are selling fast. Visit thetournament.com/soccer while they're still available. Following TST, Man City will play Celtic at UNC July 23rd.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
This is Creighton Blackwell with Coastal Credit Union and 99.9 The Fan. Today, we're at Athens Drive Magnet High School, and we're here to celebrate our next Scholar Athlete of the Month, Connor O'Toole.
What does winning this award mean to you?
I think it means a lot. Past 4 years, I've put in a lot of work in athletics and in school. I'm glad to see it's paying off, but also all my friends have helped me along the way to elevate my game.
You're involved in a service organization. What kind of impact does this work have in other aspects of your life?
Yeah, so it's not just about getting those service hours in. For example, for Science National Honor Society, when we're taking those invasive plants out of the lake, that's a lake that we run every day at practice. And it's just good to see the community cleaned up, and it's helping everyone around it as well.
Having Connor on our teams has really just meant a consistent, reliable leader and somebody who kids are drawn to. So you ask him to do something, he'll get it done right the first time. And then other kids will follow his lead, really in anything.
He's always pushing us to be a better person, not just on the track, not just during cross country, but in school and everything.
It's just that family feeling. We're all working together. For friends, we practice together, we train together, so that means we're getting better together. And it's just a great thing to be a part of, having so much support.
Such a hard-working kid, and I love him to death. He motivates me every day and pushes me to my limits.
Congratulations, Connor.
For 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, head to WRALSportsFan.com, keyword award.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here from my friends at Buffalo Brothers. We're close to crowning a champion in hockey. When I'm not calling playoff games around the country, the first thing I do when I'm back in the Triangle is head to Buffalo Brothers, the best wings on the planet, and a great place to watch all the big games. Visit all 5 Triangle locations for great specials, like half-price appetizers, Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6, and $6 Jamesons on Sunday. Dine in, carry out, buffbrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
The event, 5 decades in the making. Down on the corner. Creedence Clearwater Revival's John Fogerty. The Celebration Tour. John Fogerty. With special guests George Thorogood and the Destroyers. And Hardy Har. June 5th. Redhead Amphitheater, Raleigh. Tickets on sale now at LiveNation.com. Don't miss Creedence Clearwater Revival's John Fogerty, presented by Live Nation.
Trane heating and cooling systems are engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit TraneInfo.com to find your local independent Trane dealer and learn more. It's hard to stop a train.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. 99 questions about the college football season. We started this 99 days out from the first college football game. Been doing a question per show ever since, thus 99 questions about the college football season. Today, this is like we're going to ask a question, the same question about the 3 Triangle teams. No player wants to be the answer to this question. And this is one of my pet peeves. The question is, Who is the unsung hero of each of these three teams? Who isn't getting all of the press, but like low-key has the entire season on their shoulders? Which one isn't getting all the buzz, isn't getting all the hype videos, and they're not in the uniform reveal pictures, and they might not be the highest rated player when the new college football video game comes out. But for these three teams, UNC, NC State, and Duke, they are low-key like pillars that are holding the season up. The reason why I say nobody wants to be the answer to this question is because every unsung hero in the history of sports just wants to sing. As speaking as somebody, like in college as a backup quarterback one year, I won Unsung Hero, the team award, because he got to come off the bench a few times, play well, and everyone's like, wow, the backup quarterback's decent. And I have a plaque that said Unsung Hero. And I remember going like, I don't want – start me. Like, I don't want to be let me sing, right? Give me a solo. I don't want to be unsung. I want to sing. So they don't want to be the answer to this question.
I can be part of the harmony. Let's do this.
Yeah, exactly. Give me I've got a bass. I'll be the dum 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 something. So anyway, the question is, who isn't getting all of the press but has the season on their shoulders for UNC, NC State, and Duke, as we've kind of settled into on this? Dennis, who do you want to hear from first?
Let's go with Carolina.
Carolina. Power Eccles. He is an off-ball linebacker.
Yeah. Great name, by the way.
Power Eccles?
Yeah.
I mean, how is that not in headlines just because I've got the power? You have to replace Cedric Gray. Now that you may say, well, stepping into a all-conference pick, a draft pick, how is that unsung? You have to replace Cedric Gray's boring production as much as you have to do his exciting production. The last 3 years, he had 99 tackles, 140-something tackles, and 120-something tackles. He did Cedric Gray did so many boring things really well. Sure tackling, good gap discipline, getting the whole team on the same page. You have to replace that. Yeah, you have to replace like the occasional tackle for a loss, the sack, the interceptions, the highlight plays that end up on SportsCenter top 10. But Power Eccles has some of that. If you YouTube him, he already has some diving interceptions. He has some big plays. What you need to see is another like 50 sure tackles. You need to see another 50 2-yard gains that are held at 2-yard gains and not turned into 6-yard gains. That's why it's the unsung part of it, right? He needs to, as an off-ball linebacker, do all of the boring stuff that even your star veterans usually like take off of everyone else's plate, right? A really great corner is not just getting interceptions and pass breakups. He's also like coming up and making a sure tackle, right? Those are the things that are sometimes harder to replace because everybody's excited about, the big plays. It's like replacing your best basketball player. Everyone's excited, like those shots got to go somewhere. I'm ready to take some jumpers. And no one's like, well, you know what else? He also just, settled us down in big moments. He also, set everybody else up with pocket passes. He also broke the press. He also defended the other team's best perimeter player. And it's like, ooh, not as excited to do all that stuff. Cedric Gray moving on leaves a gap in their defense in a lot of different ways, and not just the exciting. Power Eccles, off-ball linebacker, stepping up into that role, I believe.
Okay, I like it.
Who's next? Which team you want?
Let's go Duke.
Javon Harvey. He is a transfer from ODU. And I covered ODU in a previous job, so I remember Javon Harvey well. He's a wide receiver. He is a big play threat, not a possession guy. Every single 100-yard season that he's had thus far in his career, and he's had a handful of them, right? He's a group of 5 player transferring to the Power 5, so he has some highlights that made him a bona fide. Every single 100-yard game that he's had, 4 catches or less. He's not a guy that's going out there to make 8 catches at 11 yards a pop. He's out there to make 3 catches, one of them 65 yards.
Yes.
And the other 2, whatever. Duke needs that. Duke needs a player that can make life easy for them, right? I recall the NC State game last year. NC State's defense was extremely good. Were all year. Had the talent advantage. They had one 80-yard run and one 80-yard pass, and those were the big plays. And for a while it made that appear as if the offense was playing better than it was. Javon Harvey can do some of those things. Now, is he going to be out there on every play? Probably not. Is he going to be out there in 2 wide receiver sets? Probably not. But will he be out there in 4 wide? Yes. And if you can have a player that doesn't have to be on the field every single play, but can still make big plays of a bunch of different varieties, that's pretty darn exciting.
So everything that the Carolina Panthers last year hoped DJ Chark would be.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Or Jonathan Mingo.
Yeah, or Jonathan Mingo, one or the other. But they do have returning wide receiver. Jordan Moore's back, who's been a consistent producer for them as a wide receiver over the last several years. So you know he's going to be the go-to guy.
And would get way more volume.
100%.
And way more attention from the defense. And I could have picked Jordan Moore as this, except I don't think he's unsung. I think he sings
not.
pretty loud in that offense. And all of the attention, all of the hype that goes towards him might be a way that you can open it up for somebody like Harvey, who is just, quite frankly, more of an unknown at this level because he's not always even been the number 1 wide receiver at a school like ODU in the group of 5. That leaves NC State. This one I'm maybe taking some liberties on. Justin Joly is my unsung hero for NC State.
The tight end?
Tight end transfer from UConn. Tight end is kind of the forgotten pass catcher in this hype-filled offense for NC State. Casey Concepcion, one of the best returning wide receivers in the entire country.
Yeah.
A lot of hype. Noah Rogers, former 5-star recruit transferring in from Ohio State. A lot of hype.
Yep.
Wesley Grimes, another member coming in as a transfer from Wake Forest where he played last year. 3 stud freshman wide receivers, all top 300 recruits in the country, coming in as freshmen. That's 6 names that probably get mentioned as pass catchers coming into this season before you get to Justin Joly. Joly is going to turn some heads. Some of the advanced statistics, forced missed tackles and things like that, he led the country in at the tight end position last year. Granted, it was for UConn, so
hey, still got to break him.
If a tree falls in the woods, nobody's around to hear it. Did it actually make a noise, right? UConn football wasn't the biggest and best team in the world last year, but when you did pay attention to Justin Joly, he was making plays. So just because he's a tight end, don't let him not be a part of the wide receiver group that is going to draw up so much attention and draw up so much hype. Grayson McCall, I guarantee you, is going to learn very, very early that if everyone is terrified of all these deep threats and everybody has to have one safety, one linebacker, and one edge rusher all paying attention to Casey Concepcion because he might be coming out of the backfield, he might be getting a handoff, he might be going deep. If all those eyes are on the wide receivers, Joly will be more than happy to catch it over the middle and run forward and force missed tackles and score touchdowns. So I think he's a good bet for an unsung hero that might be a really, really big part of that offense. So for UNC, it was on the defensive side, Power Eccles. For Duke, it was a wide receiver in Javon Harvey, a transfer. And for NC State, another transfer, Justin Joly, coming from UConn. Anyone did I miss? Anyone that you thought you could do better?
No.
There you go. Love that. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Other news in sports, the Stanley Cup is set. We have the Florida Panthers. We have the Edmonton McDavids. I'm you can call them what you want.
The Florida Kachucks?
I don't put Kachuk quite up there.
No. McDavid's in his own different level.
Stanley Cup Finals are set. Canes. I think, I say this often, right? A smart person learns from their own mistakes. A wise person learns from the mistakes and triumphs of others. The Canes can learn a thing or two from the team still playing in the NHL. We'll start with the Panthers because I think that one's a more nuanced but also more applicable kind of translation to the Canes. In a lot of ways, The Panthers and the Canes are very similar.
Oh, very much
in
so.
a lot of ways. Their system is similar. In some ways, their roster construction is similar. There's a lot that you watch and you go, you know what? If we just silhouetted the jerseys out, you might think you were watching the Canes at times. There are two big differences. And obviously, with the Canes being eliminated in the second round and the Panthers still playing in the Stanley Cup Finals, if there are two differences, the Canes might want to try to mimic some of those differences, right? They might want to try to make up the gap in those particular measures. The two differences are better goalie play, and I think they're more physical. I think the Panthers are a more physical bunch. Not to say the Canes are not physical, not to say they are unphysical or soft by any stretch. I just think that the Panthers have another gear that they can kick in to be a little bit sturdier in front of the net, to play a little bit more physically defensively, and then you always are looking for those messages to be sent, and it just feels like the Panthers have a little bit more of that.
I know there's a sentiment, I've saw it online, seen people say it during the playoffs when the Carolina Hurricanes got eliminated by the New York Rangers. Well, the Canes system doesn't work in the playoffs. Like, it's good for the regular season, but when everyone else ramps up their style of play in the postseason, Canes can't do it. You know who runs the exact same system as the Carolina Hurricanes do? It's the Florida Panthers. It's the same system. Paul Maurice, who used to be a Carolina Hurricanes head coach, go figure. But it's the same system. It literally is. Like the man-to-man cover, all that stuff. It's the exact same system. So, yeah, it does work. But, yeah, if you don't have the goaltending and you don't have a couple of thumpers up front who can also score, well, there's your difference right there.
And even, we were talking off air kind of during a meeting earlier. There's a whole bunch of guys in the Panthers front office with experience with the Canes in the past. There's overlap in a bunch of different ways. So, to be the most obvious person in the room, Captain Obvious, how's it going? This offseason should be a little bit about the Canes trying to find better goalie play. And maybe that is, and I believe it could be, letting Pyotr Kochetkov develop into that guy, right? A 24, 25-year-old young goalie that's shown flashes, hasn't really been given the opportunity to take over a net. If Pyotr Kochetkov can be that goalie one, that might be one way you make up one of the differences when it comes to where the Canes and Panthers are different. And then the other is maybe a little bit more physicality. And maybe that's in who you prioritize as a free agent. Maybe that's how you prioritize the players you choose to retain on the Canes. Maybe that's in who you prioritize calling up. But if you can find a way to be a little bit more physical, if you can find a way to bring a little bit more physicality, I think that could make up the difference between the second round exit and maybe still playing going into the Stanley Cup Finals.
You know who had the best two penalty kills in the playoffs so far? What two teams?
I have an idea based on the way you're asking this question.
Edmonton and Florida, best penalty kills. Who they say is usually your best penalty killer? Who has to be your best penalty killer? Your goaltender.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm assuming.
Your goalie.
Both of those questions, I was searching for the trick. No,
there was none. That's the
right
thing.
Down the middle.
There's no trick.
Huh?
There's no trick.
Bobrovsky's good.
Freaking awesome.
Yeah, and experience and all those things. I don't want to, and by the way, just to go back to the goalie thing one more time, because it is a good point that the penalty kill was that good. I don't want to put expectations that, hey, give Kochetkov the net and he's going to turn it into Bob. I don't think that's fair.
Unless you're going to do it.
But it's worth it to see. It's worth it to find out. And I don't mind, a rotation. I don't mind if Freddie's still on the roster, if he's getting his chances as well. I just want there to be a distinct hierarchy that it is Pyotr Kochetkov in net, and the rest is about figuring out how to keep him fresh and how to do all of those things. Because, Freddie Anderson is a guy that I think a lot of people like. I think he's solid enough most of the time, but we've seen in the postseason, you need that extra something. I think Kochetkov might have it. What can you learn from the other team? What can you learn from the Oilers? Right? Because they're still playing as well. They're not the betting favorite. I did see that the Panthers are getting the nod early, but the Oilers are still playing as well. What can you learn from them? Draft Connor McDavid if you can. Huh? Get lucky with the way the draft kind of falls and have that guy be available when you have that pick. And I'm not discrediting the rest of the Oilers, but it does seem like when there's a big goal to be scored, when there's a big play to be made, McDavid is just there. And that cannot be overstated. Here's Connor McDavid on making it to the Cup Finals.
I mean, there's been lots of growing pains for sure. Lots of lessons along the way, and obviously it feels good. It feels great to be in this position. This was always part of the plan, and feels good to be here today.
Connor McDavid is one of those guys that needs a ring. He's done so much of the other checklist towards being an all-time great, and he will continue to add to it. There is that moment where you just got to get the cup. Your name's got to be on it. You got to etch it in there, and he's aware of it, right? He's been in the league long enough. This isn't a guy making it to the Stanley Cup Finals his second year and thinking, well, I'll be back 9 times before my career is up. This is a guy who has grinded and knows, heck, it might never come again. So I would expect to see Connor McDavid doing Connor McDavid things throughout this run, and I would expect to see the Florida Panthers completely aware, anybody but McDavid is kind of a possible strategy, which is why I think this is going to be a really, really fun series.
By the way, he was drafted the same year as Aho.
A little bit older, though, right?
No. Aho, I think, is 1 year older.
Oh.
But no, I mean, McDavid was a young pup,
you're right.
18-year-old.
Yeah, you're right. He was the Bedard of the time. Wow. That's, first of all, I don't think Aho, and by the way, I don't think anybody is right now. I don't think Aho is McDavid level, so I'm not putting him on like time's a ticking. Like it's Aho has time to continue to mature, and they can continue to put players around him. But that does feel like, I don't know if this was on everyone's timeline, but it was on mine. There was a Twitter thing going around that said, name 2 players that played together that don't make sense in your brain. Pretty much, it was name 2 players that were on the same team, and it just didn't appear right.
Mm-hmm.
Hakeem Olajuwon played with Vince Carter in Toronto.
That does not make sense at all.
Those guys are 50 years apart. What are you talking about? Luka's rookie year, Dirk Nowitzki's final year.
Oh God,
there was just a ton of those that didn't make sense. There was a year. This one might be my favorite. There was a year when Kevin Garnett, Andrew Wiggins, Karl Anthony Towns were all on the Timberwolves.
That's wild to even think about.
Doesn't make any sense, right?
None of it makes sense.
So Aho and McDavid, they just seem like they're on such different timelines, but turns out pretty similar. And 2 players trying to lead their teams, and one of them has a chance to win a cup, and the other has a chance to go back to the drawing board and try to win a cup next year.
McDavid's just 6 months older than Aho. Basically the same age.
Yeah, that's, grade. Same grade, right?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, we're in the same grade.
We're a class of. The Tribe with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Quickly here before the top of the hour, College Football Hall of Fame nominees came out, and a whole bunch of really interesting names. Some heavyweights: Nick Saban, Urban Meyer, Manti Te'o, Aaron Donald, Mark Ingram, Deshaun Jackson. I don't know what the heck the College Football Hall of Fame has been doing, but why aren't these guys already inducted?
Yeah, I don't know what the guidelines are for Hall of Fame induction with college football. Because I know with the NFL, it's 5 years after retirement for players.
I think it's, looking at this,
they only allow 5 players in at a time.
Saban, Meyer, and Donald, I think it must be you have to have retired and then you can go in. But that brings us to the only representative from the Triangle, LeVar Fisher, North Carolina State linebacker from the early 2000s, 2-time first-team All-American, finalist for the Nagurski Trophy, ACC Defensive Player of the Year, 2-time ACC leader in tackles, finished with 492 tackles in his career. He's a first-time guy on the list also. Why Why the heck hasn't he been inducted already? Because then when the little music here,
Hall of Fame music.
I don't know. It just seems like the Hall of Fame, the College Football Hall of Fame. If you go look at the list, and I was perusing it today, there's a wild backlog of players that are 100% Hall of Famers that just are not Hall of Famers yet. And I'm going, this is going to take forever. And next year, when I'm certain there's new players that are going to go in or new players that are going to become eligible, they're going to get to the back of the line. It just doesn't seem fair. Nick Saban can't wait.
No.
Nick Saban can't wait. Mark Ingram can't wait. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. Then you look at guys like Manti Te'o and Aaron Donald, who are two of the best defensive players, which you're not going to win a Heisman doing that, but two of the best defensive players of their era in college football. What are we doing here? I honestly think one of the ways I might be able to do the most good, if you told me I can do, like, you know, you could be NFL commissioner, you could be the ACC commissioner, you could be a GM of a franchise. I think one of the ways I think I can make the most like headway as far as fixing something in college sports is if you just let me take over the Hall of Fames. The Hall of Fames are awful. Seeing the players that get in, the players that don't, the players that have to wait, the players that don't, it's completely ridiculous. And legacy matters in sports. For everybody that says it doesn't, it does. These are the most competitive people on the planet that have done some of the more difficult things in sports. They deserve to be honored properly. I think I could set up a system that does it much better. That wouldn't have great college athletes biding their time so the backlog can get undone. And there's nothing worse. That's a lie. It's pretty bad when you see someone go into a Hall of Fame posthumously, because I'm going like, oh, they didn't even get to enjoy it. I know it's great for the family, but it's just like, come on, we can do better than that. So Hall of Fames, if you want someone to take it over, I'm here. Talk to my agent. I don't have one. Talk to me. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I want to tell you about my partners at Miller Lending, and of course that includes Gordon Miller. There's some talks, there's some rumblings in the industry about some regulatory organizations maybe deciding to take a look into all of the closing costs and fees that are going into mortgages and maybe trying to decide what's okay and what's not. Miller Lending, they haven't been doing closing costs and fees for years and years and years and years. You don't have to worry about it. They are the home of the no-cost loan. Gordon's been doing no closing cost loans since 1987. Miller Lending here in the Triangle has been doing no closing cost loans since they opened. If you're not even doing the thing that is being looked into, that shows you how on the up and up, right? With rates as high as they are right now, you should never be paying closing costs or fees, because if the rates drop in 3 to 4 months, you're going to want to refinance, and you can do it again with no costs and fees. So don't set yourself up to be paying those closing costs and fees 2, 3, or 4 times as rates drop, and if they continue to drop over the next few years. Just give a call to Miller Lending, and they can take care of you. 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or you can go online at millerlending.com. That's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. We're going to take a break. When we come back, football at 4. The wide receiver market's still going haywire. How does it impact the Panthers? Stick around.
Move your sports day forward.
NC State grad slipped and slid and tumbled her way to her second championship cheese rolling event. Abby Lampy, who last year wore a black NC State hoodie, sliding and slipping and falling down this 200-foot hill. This year,
tripping.
yeah.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Sanja loves to bake, but her feet, they were throbbing. Then one day, I found a solution. Arch supports from the Good Feet store. Have foot pain? Good Feet could help.
You too can live the life you love with arch supports from the Good Feet store.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go.
the company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
It's Men's Health Month. Time to check under the hood and take stock of some things, and to talk about some important topics like testicular and prostate health. About 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime. In fact, it's the most common cancer in men behind skin cancer, and about 34,000 men die from prostate cancer each year in the United States. Don't become a statistic. Schedule your preventative screening today. Arise, the Urology Clinic for Men and Associated Urologists of Cary have got you covered. Our board-certified urologists can get you checked out and help with any urology-related conditions you may be dealing with, from low testosterone to kidney, prostate, and bladder functions, to name just a few. So make your appointment today at AriseTheClinicForMen.com. The best way to tackle preventable health problems is early detection and treatment, so don't ignore your health. Be proactive and schedule your screening today for you, for your family, for your future. Let's get this done at AriseTheClinicForMen.com.
Get bonus days to save during Window Nation's semi-annual sale now through June 30th. Get 50% off all windows along with no interest for 5 years, plus a bonus 10% savings when you schedule an estimate. If your inefficient windows are costing you too much for air conditioning, that's a big deal. Now during Window Nation's semi-annual sale, you can replace them and save a big deal too. Offer ends June 30th, so schedule your in-home estimate now. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at DewOutdoors.com and 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
For a limited time at Circle K, get 3 20-ounce ice cold Mountain Dews for only $5. Only on the Inner Circle app. Do the Dew.
It's bow time. Listen up, because we've got some big news to share. You might want to sit down for this. Bow Sauce is back at Bojangles. If you think you missed it, just imagine how our Supremes must have felt. Because there's no better sauce to pair with our crispy golden chicken Supremes. They're already boldly seasoned to perfection, but add Bow Sauce and you can taste a truly legendary combination that will make you want to yell, "It's bow time." So don't wait. Grab a Supreme and dip into some Bow Sauce. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing to satisfy your craving for flavor with a Bojangles Chicken Supremes dinner. Choose a 3-piece or 4-piece Supremes dinner. Get your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea. And don't forget the sauce for dipping, because Bow Sauce is back. That's right, Bow Sauce is back. Hungry for flavor and value and love the Bow Sauce? Then it's bow time.
This hour of buzzer-beating, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat sports action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Variably cloudy skies this afternoon, warm and muggy with a high of 85. A few isolated showers or thunderstorms. It's a warm night tonight, too. We drop back to 67, and tomorrow's a hot one with a high of 89. Partly cloudy and a chance of a shower or storm.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is down 115 points to 38,571. Market update brought to you by FC Series. It's the summer of soccer in the Triangle, with TST Stars competing for $1 million in Manchester City, taking on Celtic at UNC in July. Get discounted tickets at fcseries.com/Carolina and use code TRIANGLE.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The wide receiver market in the NFL, we've talked about it. It's going well. It's going well for the wide receivers out there. If you are currently the best running back at your high school, learn to catch. Move out wide. The Vikings and three-time Pro Bowl wide receiver Justin Jefferson have agreed on a 4-year, $140 million contract extension. What? That includes $110 million guaranteed. Bruh. A lot of money.
Also included $88.7 million signing bonus up front.
The highest non-quarterback guarantee at signing in NFL history. Resets the wide receiver market. WME negotiated and confirmed the deal. This all according to Adam Schefter. It's a lot of gosh darn money for a non-quarterback.
It's even more than the highest paid defensive player. Was it Nick Bosa making $34 million a year?
It is. He is now the highest priced non-quarterback in NFL history. Justin Jefferson, Minnesota Vikings. And guess what? It's a little indirect, but this is good news for the Panthers. This is good news for the Panthers. You want the top wide receivers to cost so much gosh darn money because you don't have one. So it's like if other teams are going to have these really good wide receivers, at least make them pay for it. At least make it hit them in the pocketbook. At least make it difficult for them to be good elsewhere with the salary cap. Because if like Justin Jefferson making $35 million per year on his new deal means CeeDee Lamb and Jamar Chase and all these other guys are going to want to make at least that. So, yeah, I mean, it would be nice to have CeeDee Lamb or Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson on the Panthers, but in lieu of that, at least make the other teams pay a boatload for them. Justin Jefferson will average $35 million per year on his new deal. Marvin Harrison Jr. was just a top 5 pick at the same position. He will make $35.3 million across the first 4 years of his rookie contract combined.
Which ain't nothing to sneeze at, by the way.
This is where, like, you know, you have to delineate between us normal folk and NFL superstars because it's not only $35 million over 4 years to us, but it's only $35 million over 4 years to an NFL GM trying to pay for their roster. I went and looked it up, and obviously this isn't exactly apples to apples because I'm going to talk about cap hit, and we don't know quite yet how the Vikings will adjust the cap hit for Justin Jefferson, but eventually it's all going to hit the cap. The entire 2 deep, meaning the first and second string of all 3 wide receiver positions for the Panthers, right? So 2 outside wide receivers in a slot. The 3 starters and the 3 backups for the Carolina Panthers will only cost $27.4 million against the cap this year. 27.4 for all 6 wide receivers on the 2 deep versus $35 million for just one guy. Is he an awesome just one guy? You're darn right. I'm a big fan of Justin Jefferson. I like watching him play. As a quarterback, I'm just kind of like, yeah, that's kind of awesome for J.J. McCarthy to have early in his career. Really good for him. Very excited to see what Justin Jefferson can do on the record books and everything else as a wide receiver. To be worth $8 million more per year than an entire NFL wide receiver room, that's a lot of gosh darn money for one guy. Deontay Johnson, $10 million cap hit. Adam Thielen, $10 million cap hit. Xavier Legette, 2.2. Jonathan Mingo, 2. Marshall, meaning Terrace Marshall Jr., 1.8. Emir Smith-Marset, 1.4, for a grand total of $27.4 million in cap hit. $1 million in cap hit.
And two of those guys you said are $20 million of that.
Yeah. So the Vikings are going to have to get creative. By the way, they have Jordan Addison, who was a first round, but on a rookie contract wide receiver. So that'll balance out some of it. But they're going to have to get creative to find that money from somewhere. The salary cap in the NFL, I know you can add on void years to contracts, and the Saints for years and years pretended like the salary cap didn't exist. In maybe not a year-to-year basis, but in like a 5-year period, it is a zero-sum game. If you are paying your wide receiver that much, you are paying somebody else less. And like I said, Jamar Chase and CeeDee Lamb, they have their eyes open. They now know where the market is for a top wide receiver. Brandon Ayuk and T. Higgins have their eyes open. They may have thought they were good for $30 million. Now they're going, listen, we're not Justin Jefferson. We're not going to ask for that much to our team. We'll be reasonable. $32 million a year. Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, they now know what a big season this year would do for them as they enter into next offseason when it's the first time they can negotiate a contract extension. You know who else probably opened their eyes a little bit, seeing dollar signs? Puka Nacua. He was just a mid-round rookie last year. And again, if you're a Panthers fan, you're saying all of those guys sound like $40 million a year wide receivers to me. I want Jamar Chase to take all of the cap space of the Cincinnati Bengals. Right? I want CeeDee Lamb to make it so the Cowboys can't have any other playmakers on their roster. I want them looking for Zeke Elliott again in the recycling pile because they have to pay CeeDee Lamb all that money. That'll let better players fall, quite frankly, to the Panthers. That'll let better second and third tier wide. It's like, all right, we don't have that guy, but we can have 6 pretty good ones.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's an unbelievable amount of money for one player.
And this is where general managers, including Dan Morgan, obviously being part of that group, this is where they have to get creative in terms of, all right, where are we willing to go cheap?
Once you pay that guy.
Yeah, once you pay that guy or those 2 guys, where are you willing to go cheap? That's really the big question. It's like, okay, well, you know what? We're going to have 2 pretty kind of scrub backup tight ends and just hope our starter's going to be good because we have to go cheap somewhere. Or, hey, you know what? We're just going to keep drafting, safeties in the 5th round and just roll out a rookie or, a second-year guy that's super cheap. It may not be as productive because we got to pay these other guys.
And
that's the spot you as a general manager have to figure out, what are you prioritizing?
And the Panthers, obviously, they're planning on and banking on Bryce Young being really good. So you have to depend on a quarterback contract coming up 2-3 years from now. That's a lot of money you have to plan for. But like, let's put yourself in the Bengals GM's position. You've already decided to pay Joe Burrow a boatload of cash, right? $50+ million a year. You're going to have to pay Jamar Chase what is looking like, I mean, even if you talk him off of his most outlandish request based on the Justin Jefferson deal.
You just paid him the same amount.
Yeah, I was going to say, you could be real stingy and get him down to like $33.5 million per year, which might not only make you the second highest paid wide receiver in the history of the game, but also a little upset at your GM. T. Higgins, you'd probably have to walk. You already moved on from your high-priced running back. You definitely don't want to skimp on offensive line in front of Joe Burrow. The guy gets hurt. You might just have to look at your offense and say 38 points per game or else you're losing because our defense is going to be held together nickel and dime style. That's not where you want to be. But make that be their problem. Right? If you're a Panthers fan, make all the other wide receivers all the money in the world and then hope Xavier Legette isn't asking you for $35 million. Actually, hope that he is asking you for $35 million in a couple of years
because that means that good.
That means he's been that good. But I mean, I don't know, if he has a big rookie year, start planning for it because you got a budget out into the future for that kind of stuff.
Here's a little context for everyone out there. Kirk Cousins got $100 million guaranteed as a quarterback for 4 years.
Well,
Justin Jefferson's getting $110 guaranteed over 4 years.
That's to be the backup quarterback to their first-round pick.
I want to make backup quarterback money. If that's the case,
I mean,
I want backup quarterback money.
I don't know if we should judge the Falcons as the This is the going rate out there. They obviously.
But still, like Kirk Cousins signed $180 million over 4 years with $100 guaranteed. Justin Jefferson as a wide receiver is going to get more guaranteed money over the same length of time.
Yep.
And it's funny, they used to play together.
Yeah, that's why they couldn't afford Kirk Cousins, because they knew they were going to. That's the decision, right? Go with the rookie quarterback, then you can afford to pay your wide receiver $35 million a year, which is what they're going to have to do with J.J. McCarthy. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Here's Dennis Cox.
Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free. I'm talking no credit cards, no car loan, no personal loan. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value, it's way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money out for that home improvement project you've been wanting to get done. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Podium is up next, and we have a new category to give a gold, silver, and bronze medal to. Stick around.
We're jamming your June with championships. The NBA Finals.
The Celtics have finished the sweep. They rally again, and it's on to the NBA Finals.
The Stanley Cup Finals.
Reinhardt scores! The Panthers win Game 4.
The U.S. Open.
Payne Stewart is the 1999 U.S. Open champion. Oh, my.
Catch every winning moment with us. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Adam Golden studio with my friend Dallas Rhule from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. I have more windows in my house than doors, but if I wanted to change out windows, how long does this whole thing take?
So typical job, couple of days, 2-3 days, and that's complete. It's very unintrusive. A lot of these home improvement projects, it can take weeks or months. You can beautify your home. You can make it more energy efficient. You can make the windows that are a lot easier to use and clean, and you can do it quickly. It's 2 to 3 day job usually.
2 to 3 days. And how many different types of windows do you have?
Where do I begin?
We don't have that much time.
We got colors, options. These things are custom made to your specifications, sized perfectly to fit the openings.
Can you put a window where I don't have a window?
We do it all the time.
Unbelievable. Dallas Rhule from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina, 800-672-4348 on Hamlin Road in Durham, aluminumcompany.com for windows, right?
Absolutely. And doors.
And the best artist with the best new scratch-offs, Mr. First Tuesday!
Wow. I'm so proud my music is bringing luck and joy to so many people. First, I'd like to thank those who invented the calendar, and to all the First Tuesdays many years ago, and to all scratchers out there. No matter if you use your nail or a coin, we all share the same First Tuesday love. First Tuesday kisses to you all.
New scratch-offs every first Tuesday of the month.
Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
Marcy Bailey from Bailey's Fine Jewelry, here to share why Bailey's is consistently voted best place to buy your diamond. First off, our amazing selection of diamonds is unparalleled. We also have hundreds of the most coveted engagement ring styles to fit any budget. You can also utilize our vast selection of loose diamond inventory and custom workshop to create your dream ring. And if that's not enough, we also offer an unprecedented lifetime diamond guarantee. I invite you to come see for yourself. Visit us today in-store or at baileybox.com.
The NBA playoffs are heating up, and so is the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Teams are knocking on the door of the conference finals, and DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered every step of the way. With same-game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, and so much more. Don't miss out on the NBA postseason as it winds down. And here's something else to sweeten the deal for new customers. Bet $5 and get $200. That's right, $200 in bonus bets instantly. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD with no spaces and get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms.
Free is key during Craftsman Days at Lowe's. Right now, get one free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select Battery 2-pack. Plus, get your choice of a V20 drill or impact driver kit for $69. Don't miss your chance to save on the high-quality, high-performance tools you need during Craftsman Days. Because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 6/19 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
If you need bold banners to boost your business, but you're on a budget, think Staples. Because now at Staples, you can save up to $50 on your print purchase. From posters and flyers to signs and menus, Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. And with Staples Print Perfect Guarantee, it's done right or it's printed again free. Plus, same-day service is available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. Get it printed right at Staples. And now get up to $50 off your print purchase. N76, visit staples.com/print for details.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan on a Monday. Thank you for starting your week with us. I'm Tim Donnelly. And this time of every Monday, we do something we like to call the Podium, which is going to have to take on a little mind of its own here for the summer. During football season, during basketball season, during hockey season, it's a very traditional, kind of straightforward deal. Summertime is where things get weird. So the categories are going to change up. The ideas, the things that we're actually putting on the podium are going to change up. But every week we will continue to pass out medals. And as always, not everybody gets a medal. Not everybody gets a trophy. By the way, did you see Eminem came out with new music?
Yeah, I still need to listen to the album though. Been busy.
Did he put out the full album already? I only listened to the one song.
I thought it was a new album. I know he put out the song Houdini.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. In the middle, he does say like he'll hit an 8-year-old in the face with a participation trophy.
Nice.
Which maybe in different wording, we do. We're not an everybody gets a trophy show here. So when we say the podium exists, it is a bronze, it is a silver, it is a gold, and that is it. You don't make it on the podium, you don't make it on the podium. Today, we are awarding medals to the best offseason moves for the Panthers. And kind of we're going to give them to the people that the moves are, right?
Yeah, the personnel moves.
It's not like Dan Morgan gets all 3 medals. It's the people that the moves were done to acquire or to move or to do whatever. Start with the bronze? We'll start with the bronze.
Okay.
This is the only one that goes to 2 people, and I call it the guards.
All right.
Because I pair it together. It's Hunt, it's Lewis, the interior offensive lineman. Here's why it's a bronze and not higher. They're good moves. They're necessary moves. The offensive line needed to be better. The interior of the offensive line needed to be better. These 2 guys, for the most part, have been durable, which is very important, as we saw last year when it comes to interior of the offensive line. It's a very good move. It's to me, solid doubles. The reason why it's not higher is they were a little expensive. They paid a lot of money for 2 guards. Not a traditional position of high value, meaning not usually a lot of $100 million contracts going out to guards in the free agency market. Robert Hunt got a $100 million deal. Lewis got a $53 million deal. These are double-digit millions per year to interior offensive line. You want the gold, got to get a little cheaper, right? If you wanted to be the gold medal Panthers move of the offseason, increase a position of need like you did with a little bit more cost effectiveness. Felt like you were big balling on this one. Went into the free agency like, yeah, what's the price? Who cares? I'll take 2. And you walked out of there with 2 offensive guards. That's the bronze medal. The silver, Jatavian Sanders, 4th round draft pick, tight end, Carolina Panthers. And in full disclosure, I don't try to hide anything. This was the only pick of the draft that before the draft I said, my favorite possible fourth rounder for the Panthers would be Jatavian Sanders. It was, I saw before the draft, I think a great fit. After the draft, I thought it was a great fit. Now, weeks after the draft, they've already had some off-season practices. I think it's a great fit. He is a player that his skill set, I think, is something they were lacking last year as far as a pass-catching wide receiver that can make something happen after the catch, wide catch radius. And also, it is somebody – I like to have the quote-unquote safety blanket that can grow with your quarterback, where – if it works, you're going to have 10 years together, right? Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison, Antonio Gates, Phillip Rivers. I'm looking like those long-term partnerships.
Dallas Clark with Peyton Manning.
Dallas Clark with Peyton Manning was another good one. Those long-term partnerships where it's like you're invested in each other, right? When you learn something, it's not like, great, well, this offseason you're going to go use everything I just taught you with someone else. It's like you get your own little shorthand, you get your own little inside jokes, but of the football variety. And I think Jatavian Sanders and Bryce Young can be that, right? Remember when you were just a fourth-round pick and you showed up? Well, look at us now, right? That what's the Paul Rudd meme? Look at us.
Look at us.
Like, imagine if 8 years from now, Jatavian Sanders is like the third highest paid tight end. Bryce Young's going into his 9th year as the starter. Look at us. Look at us.
Remember when?
Nobody believed in us. And I think it's cost effective, right? Fourth rounder. Now, it was the very first pick of the fourth round, but it's a fourth round pick nonetheless. You're going to get him for the next 4 years rent controlled, which is important for this roster that has a bunch of other holes they need to fill. That's why that's silver. Gold medal, the Deontay Johnson trade. Look at the wide receiver market. We just talked about it. Look at how expensive wide receivers are, and then look at how much it's costing them for Deontay Johnson, and try to argue that this trade was anything but a great trade. It was for scraps, first of all. Remember, they were going to release Dante Jackson. They ended up trading him for Deontay Johnson. That's an unbelievable pivot. That's I'm going to get rid of this couch. I'm just going to throw it away. I'm going to take it to the dumpster. I'll give you $1,000 for it. Deal. It's a found $1,000.
I'll trade you a nightstand. All right.
Yeah. Only instead of $1,000, it's you found a number one wide receiver. You found a guy with a ton of catches over the last 5 years. You found a guy that can really help. Now, yeah. I mean, it's essentially a 1-year deal, and if he plays well, he's going to be costing and all this stuff. But for 1 year, this trade was great. It was great. And guess what? If Xavier Legette ends up being a stud super number one, you can move on from Deontay Johnson. No harm, no foul. It's not like you paid that much for him. I love trades that make you much better right now that don't necessarily come with a ton of future obligation. Because you gave up nothing for him, there's no, like, I'll use a Canes example. They gave up some stuff for Jake Gensel.
Yeah.
So now it feels like if you don't sign him, it's like, oh, you gave all that up for 6 weeks, and it feels like you gave it up for nothing.
Missed opportunity.
If you get 1 year out of Deontay Johnson and he leaves, it's like, yeah, you didn't give up anything for him anyway. You flopped 6th and 7th. Like, who cares? Like, it's a nothing burger. That trade, the more and more, longer it goes on, the more exciting it becomes. And even things that I wished happened, right? Like Brandon Ayuk, T. Higgins, some of these other wide receivers that were reportedly available. Now with the wide receiver market, it's looking like they're coming with a $30+ million a year price tag as well, which the Panthers just can't pay. They just don't have it right now. Deontay Johnson, the best move of the offseason. You know what's notable about the 3 medals I just gave out?
What's that?
All offense.
All of them on the offensive side of the ball.
What do you think the priority was for the Carolina Panthers this year? Get Bryce Young some help? Get him some protection? Notice I did not go Jadeveon Clowney. Didn't go DJ Wanham. Maybe addition by subtraction on a couple, but Still, that's our podium. Anybody I missed? I like doing these little double checks. Discount double check.
I would say those are maybe the Ashawn Robinson on defense on the defensive line. I thought
If you
was
are
a
going
really
defense.
great signing.
And he has a relationship with Evero, which you always like.
Exactly.
That's fine. I think that's he's like he made it to the final heat of the 100-meter dash.
Exactly.
Didn't finish on the podium, but he probably finished
Give
seventh,
it
and he's
fourth,
like
yeah.
he's like really happy about it. Doesn't get a trophy, but
You're
a
in the
story
final heat, though.
gets a story. There's a picture on his den of him 6 steps behind Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
I was in the race. Have I told you this story?
No.
So I'm at a previous market, right? And we're like, how here we have Mix, we have Buzz, like there's a cluster of radio stations that we are all under the same umbrella. And there's a music station, and I won't say it because he obviously has rebranded himself. But you can, if you dive in deep, you can figure out who it is. There's a music station, DJ, his office is down the hall from mine. We chat. He knows a lot about sports, so he's always coming down kind of to kick it. Like, oh, did you see the game last night? We're having a good time. After working with this guy for like 6 months, he's a big Clemson fan. And I'm going like, hey, so why are you a Clemson fan? I knew where he was from, and it wasn't around South Carolina. He said, oh, I went there. I was like, oh, who were the big athletes? He's like, oh, I ran track. So, I was kind of always focused on that. This dude is a ACC and Clemson Hall of Famer, and he was in the race the first time Michael Johnson broke the 200-meter world record.
Oh.
And I was like, why is that not the first thing you ever say when you meet somebody?
Hey, lead with that.
I'm the sports guy. And he had taken on like a music radio DJ name. So, like, the name that we all called him wasn't, like, the name that he ran track under. So, I wouldn't have, like, if I Googled him, it wouldn't even have popped up. He's like, yeah, and he had a picture. He showed it to me. He had a picture of Michael Johnson the first time he broke Michael Johnson. This is, like, Atlanta Olympics Michael Johnson, gold shoes, 400-meter, 200-meter double-up, one of the best track athletes of all time. Michael Johnson and him next to each other in the blocks, and it was the first time Michael Johnson broke the 200-meter world record. And I'm just going, you're not. He's like, well, I didn't medal in the race. I'm going like, you were in the race. You were there. I would take that picture and make T-shirts out of it and wear it everywhere I go. So if I ever interact with some of you, if we're out at a Canes game, if we're at a remote event, if you come out to the station for whatever reason, and you at any point in time have run track against an Olympian, feel free to name drop. Feel free to go, I beat Maurice Green in a foot race in high school. Like, whatever it is, feel free to volunteer that. Me and Marion Jones used to be in the same relay team. Whatever it is, I want to hear it. I love those stories. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have a new giveaway here. Dennis, you can help me with the actual copy here. There we go. It is a golf giveaway. There is a mighty impressive golf tournament coming to Pinehurst next weekend. It is the U.S. Open.
Pretty simple.
It is one of the best fields in all of golf.
Mm-hmm.
It is both the golfers from that tour that ran away from everybody and made a bunch of money and the golfers from the PGA Tour. Everybody is coming to North Carolina. Everybody is coming to Pinehurst. And we have a pair of tickets for Sunday.
That we do Sunday.
You can see a major champion crowned at Pinehurst on Sunday if you win the tickets. How do they win the tickets, Dennis?
Pretty simple. Text GOLF, 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 to 919-860-5326. Again, GOLF to 919-860-5326. Just text that in. You'll receive a link to subscribe to the Fan Insider, which is our newsletter. Subscribe to that, and you'll be entered for your chance to win a pair of tickets to the U.S. Open Championship next Sunday, June 16th in Pinehurst.
Pinehurst has a great history as a U.S. Open hosting course. Payne Stewart comes to mind. There's it's a really, really cool backdrop. Obviously, somebody like Tiger Woods will be in the field. He's going to have to make the cut since these are Sunday tickets, but I don't bet against the big cat. But the Scotty Schefflers, the Rorys, there's the Brooks Koepkas. There's enough firepower in this tournament that whoever's on the leaderboard going down to Sunday, you'll have a really fun time following that tournament.
Yep, just text golf to 919-860-5326. You'll get a link to sign up to our newsletter, which is the Fan Insider. Sign up for that, which, by the way, the Fan Newsletter, sent your email once a week at the end of the week. That way you can kind of catch up on all the content that we put out. But nonetheless, you do that, you get a chance to win a pair of tickets to the U.S. Open on Sunday, which is awesome. And the final round of a major.
And that's Father's Day weekend.
It is.
Imagine, hey, Pops.
Hey, Dad.
I got something this weekend. Don't book anything for Sunday.
Hey, Dad, want to do something cool?
Just keep your Sunday open. I've got plans. And you secretly won tickets to the U.S. Open? That's it's pretty cool. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Is that the storm tracker I hear?
It is the storm tracker.
The Canes, storm tracker, the rumors going on this offseason, and there are plenty of them. There are GM interviews, there are trade possibilities, there are free agency decisions. Martin Nate, it is the storm tracker, and all of the Canes rumors will apply here, and we'll take it through the summer. Every day, 4:33. Up to this point, it could kind of be the Martin Necas tracker. Every rumor seems to do with Martin Necas. And the more and more of the rumors I hear, of the social media discourse, of the media reports involving Martin Necas that I hear, the more and more it is clear. The Carolina Hurricanes think they are smarter than just about everyone else in the league. They think they are more intelligent. They think they know more. They think they're better at evaluations, and they're willing to stand on business in that respect. Because the Canes, and this goes back to the end of season presser with Don Waddell and Rod Brindamore, made it known they think they need a right hand shot centerman. Don Waddell said that's what he wants, and Rod Brindamore, his face said it all. Yeah, I do. The interesting part about that, that in and of itself, it's like that doesn't mean they're smarter than anyone. They know what their roster needs. But everyone else in the league, and when I say everyone, I'm only kind of exaggerating, over half of the league has called the Canes about Martin Necas, according to Elliot Friedman. They, it seems for the most part, believe they are calling about a top-flight right-hand centerman. So the Canes are simultaneously saying, we need a right-hand shot centerman, and saying, we have a right-hand shot centerman for sale, come and get it.
Mm-hmm.
That is them saying they are smarter than everyone else. You guys don't even realize that this is not a right-hand shot centerman that can captain your second line. You don't even realize. So we'll sell it to you as if that is something true and honest. Meanwhile, we're going to look to solve that very same problem another way.
It blows my mind. You read any publication out there saying like, hey, well, Montreal or Philly or Calgary should – this guy, he's a center. Now, he's been playing a lot of wing, but he's a center. I'm like,
exclusively.
Y'all realize that he ain't played center for Carolina since he's coming to the league, right?
I had a couple preseason games.
Okay, cool.
My point is, like, how does anyone else fall for this? Because if I were out like on like at a yard sale, or if I'm at a trade show, right, and I'm saying need, like I'm at let's say a card show, right, trading cards, sports cards, and I'm holding up a thing that says need Michael Jordan rookies. Desperately need Michael Jordan rookies. Bring me all of your Michael Jordan rookies. And then on the other side of the sign, it says, for sale, 1 Michael Jordan rookie card. I'm going to be like, wait a second. What's wrong with this Michael Jordan rookie that it's not satisfying your desperate need for one? So, right, the Canes sitting here and saying, need right-hand shot centers, need right-hand shot centers, then flipping over that sign and it says, for sale, 1 right-hand shot center. I'm going like, wait a minute. What about the one you're trying to sell isn't satisfying your desperate need? But everyone seems to be okay with it because, like we said, 16-plus teams have already inquired about Martin Necas. That alone right there makes you think they're in that kind of we know something you don't know category. Right? Because if I'm one of the other teams, my antennas are on full alert. Right? I get nervous anytime anyone is trying to trade something that seems too good to be true. There better be an obvious answer. If I'm trading for Martin Necas, the Canes would have to look me in the eye and say, we can't stand his dad. That would almost have to be it, because it would have to be something that isn't the hockey. Because the Canes are not in the business of moving on from talent. They're in the business of retaining all the talent they can and finding ways to add stuff in the margins to get over the hump. So if they're willing to move on from a guy, they better look me in the eye and say, no, he is really good, and we wish we didn't have to. But this other thing that is completely unrelated to the blue lines is making it impossible.
I think a lot of it just comes down to dollars. What can you keep? And actually, this has been the talk of the NHL, including on NHL Network. So on NHL Network's show called The Fourth Period, which has E.J. Hradek, which is one of the insiders, Catherine Tappan, among others, they actually talked about what Necas could get in a contract.
Mm-hmm. They're going to have a conversation with his agent about what an extension may look like. And speaking to some people around the league, if he does go full term, you're looking at $7.5 million on an AAV. That seems to be the consensus among some other teams out there in their belief of what he may end up getting. But this is a player that is going to draw interest. His father might have spoken a little too freely with some of the media overseas about his desire to have an expanded role, more responsibility, more on the power play, more 5-on-5. And quite frankly, under Rod Brindamore's system, there's some question marks as to whether or not he'll be able to really exploit his talents in that regard. So there are teams that have him, again, on their radar, on their target list. Seattle's on there, Nashville, Montreal, the Philadelphia Flyers, Calgary Flames as well. There are a number of teams that are going to give Eric Tulsky and the staff in Carolina a call and see if they can pry him out of Carolina.
7.5 per year, million. That would be an appropriate answer. If the Canes looked at whoever they were trading him to and said, we can't afford him. 7.5 million. But then the other team's going to go, oh, we don't want him at 7.5. Never mind. We thought that's a lot of money for Martin Necas.
A lot of money for a guy who's never scored 30 goals in a season.
But he can. He's also never played center. But he can. Magic beans. I got these magic beans. It's going to be a beanstalk. I'm telling you. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly for Coach Pete and Capital Financial Advisory Group. Well, I mean, when we look at retirement, when you look at saving for your retirement, there's really two things, right? Yes, there's a 22-step behind-the-scenes process that Capital Financial does to your retirement plan. Yes, there's 7 baby steps, and that's a book that Coach Pete has written that he can send to you. There's all of these things, but there's really two. You want to have your money secure so you don't have to worry about it, and you want to have a maximum income, the most money possible in retirement, right? If those two things are happening, we're going to be pretty darn happy. Coach Pete will help you regain control of your foundation for retirement and see you through a worry-free retirement. That means you have an income that does not depend on the success of the stock market. You have a maximized income, and you have an income that you don't have to worry about being taken away from you, not just to retirement, not just through the early parts of retirement, but all the way through the end of retirement. The way to and through retirement, call up Coach Pete and his team at Capital Financial as they develop a total and customized retirement plan for you to secure and maintain both confidence and control of your finances. Coach Pete is committed to helping you retire like a champion, getting you through the financial red zone, over the goal line, and into that retirement end zone. Give him a call so they can tell you how. 800-691-3210. That's 800-691-3215. But it is vitally important that you also let them know you heard about it right here from me, Tim, on 99.9 The Fan. So call them, 800-691-3215, and say, Tim told me to call. Or you can just text my name. Might be a little bit more simple. TIM. Just text my name, Tim, to 600-700. 600-700. There were a lot of great sound bites this weekend in the sports world. We're gonna play a whole bunch of them for you. Some entertaining stuff coming up next.
Hey, it's Victoria in studio with WakeMed's Dr. Michael Williford for Men's Health Month. He's with WakeMed General Surgery, specializing in minimally invasive hernia repair. What exactly is a hernia?
A hernia just means a hole anywhere. The most noticeable ones are on the abdominal wall, the belly button hernias, the groin hernias. Hernias can occur for many different reasons. We all have an umbilical cord in the womb. We all have a natural defect there at the belly button. Over time, that can grow and become larger. Similarly, in our groin, during development, our testicles descend there. We have a natural hole in the groin as well, and we can develop a bulge there as well. And we think up to 10% of men will develop some sort of hernia in their lifetime, and generally hernias get larger over time. There are a few things that can make them get larger. You know, anything that increases pressure on the inside of the abdomen, weight gain, straining for constipation, men that do repetitive heavy lifting at work, an incision can make your tissues weaker.
Learn more about WakeMed General Surgery at wakemed.org.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
It's bow time. Listen up, because we've got some big news to share. You might want to sit down for this. Bow Sauce is back at Bojangles. If you think you missed it, just imagine how our Supremes must have felt. Because there's no better sauce to pair with our crispy golden chicken Supremes. They're already boldly seasoned to perfection, but add Bow Sauce and you can taste a truly legendary combination that will make you want to yell, it's bow time. So don't wait. Grab a Supreme and dip into some Bow Sauce. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing to satisfy your craving for flavor with a Bojangles Chicken Supremes dinner. Choose a 3-piece or 4-piece Supremes dinner. Get your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea. And don't forget the sauce for dipping, because Bow Sauce is back. That's right, Bow Sauce is back. Hungry for flavor and value and love the Bow Sauce? Then it's bow time.
Hey friends, it's Paul Eihander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. The NBA playoffs have certainly tipped off, and it's not too late to get in on the action with FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 to use on same-game parlays, live bets, championship futures, and so much more. There's no better place to bet all the playoff action than America's #1 sportsbook. But to get started, you need to go to FanDuel.com/Paul. Paul with a capital P. Get yourself rolling. Get in on the fun. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
It's Chevy truck season at Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. Score up to $8,500 off a brand new 2024 Silverado 1500 Crew Cab LTZ with a $2,500 Wilkinson discount, plus a $6,000 trade-in bonus on eligible vehicle. Offer valid on stock number 24450. Similar offers available for others. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford. One of the only dealerships with the best of GMC and Chevy under one roof. WilkinsonCars.com.
It's the summer of soccer in the Triangle with TST Stars competing for $1 million and Manchester City taking on Celtic at UNC in July. Get discounted tickets at fcseries.com/Carolina and use the code TRIANGLE.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. There are certain weekends where seemingly every time, it used to be every time you'd like turn on SportsCenter, there would be a new like sound clip or video clip that makes you go, whoa. Now it's mostly social media, right? Every time you scroll something else and you're like, oh, watch this. You want to show your friends. So the cool part about having a show is when instead of just showing our friends, we get to show all of you. So we have a little Sounds of the Weekend clip action going on here. Dennis has a bunch of clips lined up. We're going to play them. We're going to react as a unit. Hopefully we'll laugh. Hopefully we'll cry. Hopefully we'll think. Shout out to Jimmy V. What do you got for us, Dennis?
All right, let's actually go to a little Major League Baseball. We actually saw the Chicago White Sox play the Milwaukee Brewers over the weekend. And, well, the Chicago White Sox, to put it honestly, stink. That's really about it. They stink. They lost to the Brewers over the weekend quite a bit, including a 6-3 loss yesterday. Well, yesterday we saw a play at the plate. Late in the game, 8th inning, Tommy Pham, who plays for the Chicago White Sox, was thrown out at home. I'm actually going to give you the play-by-play soundbite first. This is the Chicago White Sox broadcast of the play.
Here's the throw to the plate. And he's out. And Contreras is barking at him. Tommy Pham's barking back. He's not backing down. He doesn't like that. And now home plate umpire Edwin Jimenez has to hold back Pham. Nah, we ain't taking that. We ain't taking that from the Brewers. I don't care how many L's we got this year. We ain't taking that.
Well, you should, Gary. You have 45 of them. You have 45 of them this year. Congrats. You're like dead last in the American League Central.
We'll lose games, but we're not getting pushed around.
Exactly. So Contreras, who we referred to there, was the catcher that tagged out Tommy Pham. He was out by a mile. Wasn't even close. And Contreras is like, yep, gotcha, you're out. Like, bye-bye. Kind of like wave at him with using his catcher's glove a little bit. And Tommy Pham did not like it. Tommy Pham was ready to throw hands. Now, if you've heard the name Tommy Pham before, well, actually, we'll dive into that for a second.
Yeah,
Here's what
buddy.
Tommy Pham had to say after the game. Tommy Pham was ready to throw hands.
Actually, it wasn't even close. It was a shallow fly ball to left field. You would expect the left fielder to throw the base runner out on that play, but the situation of the game, third base coach sends you got to go. I'm nailed out at home by a mile, going to the dugout, and then, I hear the tough guy with all the hoorah, so I'll never start anything, but I'll be prepared to finish it. There's a reason why, I do all kinds of fighting in the off season, because I'm prepared to somebody up, so you can take it as what it is.
Yowzers.
Tommy Pham was he was steamed. When your team stinks, you wake up in a bad mood.
You never want to fight the guy that in calm moments is preparing to fight.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, everybody has those moments. You snap, you're like, I would fight somebody right now. You don't want to fight the guy who in the off season is like doing jiu-jitsu workouts just in case he has one of those snapping moments. He's thought about it too much. And you're right, Tommy Pham. What I knew Tommy Pham was he smacked Jock Peterson and got suspended when they were on different teams because they were in the same fantasy football league and they had a disagreement in fantasy football, so he settled that with his hands. Mike Trout was the commissioner of that league, by the way. If you're fighting over fantasy football, you will darn sure fight over a play at the plate, and I want nothing to do with it.
And he openly admitted, as he just said, he's like, yeah, I was out by a mile. No controversy here.
The third base coach caught a stray.
Well, yeah.
If he sends me, I got to go. But I was out by a mile. It was a short pop fly. That's too funny. What else you got?
All right, so this actually goes to the Canadian Open. Robert McIntyre, the winner, who's from Scotland, said was homesick a little bit. Scotland, playing in the Canadian Open. Scottish. Here's Robert McIntyre. He brought his dad over to be his caddy for the tournament. And he was asked, why bring dad?
This life on the road is not easy. And in Myrtle Beach, you talked about being homesick. You bring your dad out, the biggest piece of home you could ask for by your side. How much has this helped determine this?
I was going down the last there and
was trying to tell me stay focused, just swing smooth, because yesterday I got a little bit too fast, and in my head I wasn't listening to him. I was like, I'm wanting to win this for my dad. Like, this is a guy that's taught me the game of golf, and I just can't believe I've done this with him in the bag.
I mean, come on.
If it gets dusty in your car, it's okay. That's fine.
Come on.
There's still pollen.
By the way, I think that was his first PGA Tour victory, and he does not. It's not like, every time his caddy has something going on, he brings his dad on the bag. It's not a normal thing.
Mm-hmm.
This was like the time where he's like, all right, fine, I'll have dad do it. And then he won the tournament. And they like the hug on the green after they won, it felt like 2 or 3 hugs combined, because normally you have a pretty emotional hug with your caddy. You have a pretty emotional hug with your dad when you get off the course. You have a pretty emotional hug with, like, the person that taught you golf, like a young coach or something. And all of those happen to be the same guy right on the 18th green. And with Father's Day right around the corner, I mean, come on.
And then Dad was asked about it.
Dad, it looks like you're taking this one all in. What is it like? Elite athlete on your own. You have been so committed to your son's success ever since he showed passion for the game. What's it like to be a part of this moment?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm a grass cutter. No, a caddy.
Sorry.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah,
honestly, it's unbelievable. I got phoned last Saturday night. He phoned me. I'm sitting on the couch at home, 8 o'clock Saturday night, and I'm like, can I leave my job here? I'm busy at work.
Of course you can.
Aye. 8 o'clock the next morning, I'm on a flight out here, and wow.
That beginning, he said, I'm a grass cutter.
Yeah.
Just in an awesome Scottish accent. I mean, if you're a dad out there with a child that's going to play sports, it's about as good as it gets. And also it came with like a, $2+ million check.
I mean, that helps.
Caddies get traditional 10%.
Hey,
I don't know if Dad is like, I'm on the come up, son. Come on now.
Happy Father's Day.
Those lessons when you were a kid weren't cheap. Do you have any more?
No, we're up against it right here.
Yeah,
so I mean, it's kind of hard to top that.
I mean, it's part of the, like, I think it's a U.S. Open like cheating trick that they put it on Father's Day weekend, because then like when Tiger won it with his dad recently passed away, you immediately, it's like, oh man, Dusty.
Yeah,
oh, the onions. Who's cutting onions? Just something about athletes and their parents. It's always going to hit you in the feels. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. Check them out online, deepriversportingclays.com. If you're looking for something to do for Father's Day, look no further than Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. You don't necessarily have to go on Father's Day, but a Father's Day gift, take Dad down to Deep River. I'm guaranteeing you he's going to enjoy himself. You know what? Go with him. Have a nice family bonding experience. Go enjoy. Have that awesome moment between you and Dad. Or, it's your brothers and sisters all together with Dad. Make it a full family thing. Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School can bring you that. After you get done with your round of clays, you can relax under the pavilions. It's a wonderful setting that they have down there in Sanford. So you're just minutes away from the Triangle. Gorgeous area, 65 acres, all natural setting. 13 targets on the target range. Do your round of clays. Have that wonderful moment. And if you've never been down there before, that's fine. They have everything for your shooting needs, and one of their expert staff members will go around the course with you as well. Check them out online, deepriversportingclays.com. Have that wonderful family bonding experience.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Starting 5 coming up next, including potential upgrades to Bank of America, the stadium in Charlotte. Stick around.
Hi, this is Renee Chu. The most trusted local news in the Triangle is now on the radio, WRL News Plus. Now get breaking news and severe weather reports on the radio 24 hours a day. Listen on the radio at 96.5 FM in Durham, 99.3 FM in Raleigh, and everywhere in the Triangle at 101.5 HD3.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing, made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories, all without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver, all the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew, 30 seconds, that's it. Done. Peace.
Spectrum Internet has enough speed to handle all your needs, so you can work, game, and stream with speeds up to a gig. Plus, Spectrum's advanced Wi-Fi provides enhanced security for all your connected devices. Get Spectrum Internet with fast and reliable speeds, starting at just $29.99 a month with a 2-year price guarantee. Visit spectrum.com/internet for you for full details. Offer subject to change, valid for qualified residential customers only. Restrictions apply.
Tim Donnelly here. Don't miss out on the sale of the summer from Zero Res. 3 rooms in your house, Zero Resified. Every surface cleaned for $109 plus $100 off your air duct cleaning. Give them a call, 919-915-0000 or ZeroResRaleigh.com.
A torn ACL, stress fracture, aching back, a hip that's had it, life on hold, and all you want is to get it back. Enter Wake Orthopedics. Our fellowship-trained orthopedists do it all. General, sports, pediatric, joint replacement, fractures, spine, prevention, advanced diagnostics, progressive treatments, minimally invasive procedures, surgeries, and more. Visit wakemed.org/wakeortho and get back your life.
Diamonds Direct has done it again. This month only, get ready for an offer you can't resist. Buy a natural diamond engagement ring of 1 carat plus and receive a free natural 1 carat diamond tennis bracelet valued at $2,000. That's right, a stunning diamond tennis bracelet at no extra cost. Imagine giving her the ring of her dreams and her wedding gift all at once. So hurry into Diamonds Direct. Your chance to get a free tennis bracelet will not last long. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
Gilbert worked in retail and restaurant management for 14 years. It was time for a change.
I recognized where I was at was vulnerable to the whims of the economy.
Then he heard about My Computer Career. Gilbert went for it.
In as little as 7 months, I got all of my certifications at a fraction of a cost for college.
He became an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
I can work from anywhere. I have more time for my family as well.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
The NBA playoffs are heating up, and so is the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Teams are knocking on the door of the conference finals, and DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered every step of the way. With same-game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, and so much more. Don't miss out on the NBA postseason as it winds down. And here's something else to sweeten the deal for new customers. Bet $5 and get $200. That's right, $200 in bonus bets instantly. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD with no spaces and get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball term.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback!
Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. We saw a few showers and storms pop up this afternoon. A few will linger into early evening. Partly cloudy overnight with the low at 68. A few more storms for your Tuesday afternoon. Partly cloudy, warm and humid. The high at 89.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is down 115 points to 38,571. Market update brought to you by FC Series. It's the summer of soccer in the Triangle, with TST Stars competing for $1 million and Manchester City taking on Celtic at UNC in July. Get discounted tickets at fcseries.com/tickets. Athens.com/Carolina and use code TRIANGLE.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the starting five, and as always, we start with number 5. 5. I almost did that myself. I got 5 on it.
Should have.
College baseball. We are kind of, over the weekend, we were kind of the center, meaning the state of North Carolina, the center of the baseball world. College baseball was taking place all over the place. NC State hosted a regional, smoked it, 3-0.
Yep.
3 games up, 3 games down, win, advanced to the super regional. They'll be going to Athens.
Athens, Georgia, taking on the Bulldogs.
We have to figure it, because to me now, dogs it's a Panthers thing. It's Dan Morgan, but there's no way in Athens that'll fly.
No.
UNC plays in about 57 minutes?
About an hour.
I like to be more specific than that.
That's
57 fair. Minutes and 12 seconds.
All right.
Against LSU, with the winner advancing to a super regional. That right there is as premier of like a region. I know that's not technically a regional final, but it is kind of technically a regional final. That's about as exciting of a regional final as you can get.
Mm-hmm.
LSU and UNC, from the history of the programs, the quality of talent, the level of baseball you'd expect. It's gonna be a fun night there. ECU earlier today, what was the final score? They ended up
6-5.
Lost to Evansville, so kind of one of the Cinderellas of the postseason for college baseball. Took out ECU, but ECU had their fun, right? ECU eliminated Wake Forest
with a walk-off.
With a walk-off. ECU, very, very solid season, and our very own Graham Hill was actually in Greenville for part of that regional, and apparently the atmosphere was banana sandwich.
Yes, it was.
So
Greenville enjoys their baseball out there.
Showed well for themselves.
Is a culture in and of itself.
High Point, another North Carolina school, won their first ever regional game. Didn't make it out of the region, but won their first ever regional game. And it's not like it was against a scrub. They beat Vanderbilt.
Yeah, who's a national power.
I mean, that's one where you look at the draw, you're like, really? Vanderbilt? That's who we get? Fine. And then they ended up winning that one. UNC Wilmington, again, didn't make it out of the regional, but did smoke Georgia Tech 9-0 in their first matchup. Duke had a tough one down there in Norman, Oklahoma. We knew that by the time the show ended. They had already lost the first. They're not advancing, but made it to a region, made it to a regional. And is there anyone else I'm missing, or is that all of the North Carolina?
Well, UNC Wilmington almost won the Georgia regional.
Yes.
UNC Wilmington had a pretty good showing, but lost to Georgia. We almost had NC State versus UNC Wilmington in the super regional. Almost had that.
Would have been fun.
Been awesome. It would have been here in Raleigh.
The ACC is dominating. Again, if they get UNC, I believe that'll be 5 teams in super regionals, which would be awesome. Always team ACC and always team state of North Carolina. So it was a good weekend. It was a fun weekend in college baseball. Postseason baseball. But the thing, like the College World Series, the way they do it, it's essentially postseason baseball, but you just jump straight to Game 6, which makes everything so, like, sometimes in Major League Baseball, you get to the postseason, those Games 2s and Games 3s can drag on a little bit. When it comes to college, they basically jump right to Game 6, which, that's when the real fireworks begin anyway. That's number 5. Let's go ahead and jump to number 4.
We are the 4 horsemen. Woo!
Larry Allen passed away. Extremely sad. Those of you that don't know, he, I believe, has a very, very strong claim to being the best offensive guard in the history of the NFL.
Played for the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys opened up holes for Emmitt Smith. And during
part of that 90s dynasty with them.
Part of that 90s dynasty. Played all the way up until 2006. Unbelievable physical specimen when it comes to his athletic feats. Now, everything off the field says he was a great person as well. It's just so many of us sports fans are going to remember him as the 340-pound road grader opening up holes for maybe the best rushing attack in the history of the game. Remember, Emmitt Smith finished his career as the leading rusher in NFL history, multiple Super Bowls, played from 1994 to 2007. At one point in time, went 6 straight years as a first-team All-Pro and Pro Bowler. There's 2 memories that the moment, by the way, he was only 52 years old, died suddenly on on a vacation with his family in Mexico. So unbelievably sad. I'm going to try to, obviously you have to wait for more information and thoughts, support go out to the family and his community. But there's 2 kind of football things that immediately stood out to me that I remembered. And as somebody that was, 14 years old, 15 years old when he retired, the fact that I have 2 vivid memories of an offensive guard goes to show how good that offensive guard was. I mean, even like the other best of the best. Like I can remember them as a really, really good player. I can remember them as being an all-pro. Like you rarely have memories of an offensive guard. One of them is in a game. And I actually showed Dennis and Graham earlier today when the news broke. There was an interception thrown by Troy Aikman. It was a tipped pass caught by what looked like a linebacker not far in front of the line of scrimmage. And when I tell you a chase down tackle happened with a 6'3", 335, 340-pound individual doing the chasing down, he opens up stride like a sprinter and hoofs down, walks down. Somebody who, quite frankly, just should be faster than he is. And it looks like everyone else is on regular speed and he gets bumped into fast forward. It's an effort play. It's a hustle play. It's a feat of athleticism that almost no other offensive guard, I think, could have pulled off. It's unbelievable. And if you just go, you can go to Twitter right now and just go Larry Allen chasing. It'll pop up and you'll go, oh my goodness. The second one is, I say this from time to time on air. I grew up in Hawaii. And the Pro Bowl used to be in Hawaii. And back when players weren't terrified of getting hurt during the Pro Bowl, which is all it is now, it's all how can we make them do stuff without worrying about getting hurt. They used to even, on top of the Pro Bowl, which was full pads and full contact and people played, there were these skills challenges. And one of them was they had fastest man, they had strongest man, they had accuracy kicking, they had throwing competitions. Strongest man Larry Allen participated in. It had to be 04, 05 because I was still living in Hawaii. He did the bench press. They just put 225 on there like you're back at the combine. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Most NFL football players, they get really strong at the 225 bench for the combine. And then they might, not saying they get weak, but they work out in other ways, right?
Yeah, they adjust their training.
They try to get maybe more flexible, whatever it is. They don't just go under the bar very often and put 225 on and go, I wonder how many times I can do this. Larry Allen did it, had to be 40 or 50 times. And I remember watching, and I think he could have got like 80. I think he could have got 100. He didn't look tired. It was just choo, 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 all the way through. And the thing I remember about it was obviously the unbelievable feat that I was witnessing. But I remember watching the other NFL big dudes that were there as Pro Bowlers, the offensive linemen, the defensive tackles that were also participating in the event, watching it and like giggling. They were like overwhelmed with amazement to like a 4-year-old at the zoo seeing an elephant or something like that. Just you can't contain the joy. And he was just boom, 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 boom. It was unlike anything I had ever seen. And, every once in a while you start talking about the game just gets better. The game just gets stronger. Players just get more advanced. Players just, the equipment gets better. The nutrition gets better. The training gets better. The athletes are better. Larry Allen is one of those dudes. He's like Wilt Chamberlain, Deion Sanders, Michael Jordan. You're just like, no, I think he would have been the best athlete in any era he played because it was just that unbelievable. Passed away, 52 years old, unbelievably too young, suddenly on vacation with his family. Thoughts and every other kind of support go to his friends, his family, his teammates, the Dallas Cowboys organization, the NFL Hall of Fame, of which he's a member, and everyone else affected. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
1, 2, 3.
Justin Jefferson just got paid. Hit the sound. There you go. 4 years. What is it? $140 million. 110 guaranteed. 88 and change. $88 million and change. Can we really call like $700,000 change?
Yeah, I mean, just under $89 million.
Just under $89 million at signing.
Yeah. Just to sign the contract.
And for those of you that don't pay attention to...
Check your bank account.
How about that? Gosh. From the moment you signed, you just constantly get a banking app and just refresh. I've heard Joe Burrow tell that story.
Mm-hmm.
He got $24 million in a signing bonus that he said on a Tuesday, you just wake up and it's in your bank account.
Yeah. That thing is when he signed his rookie contract.
Yeah, it was his rookie $24 million signing bonus, and he said, first thing I did was wake up, went to my banking app, refreshed, and just went, whoa. Look at that. It's all there. $88 million and change for Justin Jefferson is just going to be in his bank account one day. It's not going to be there, and then he's going to refresh, and it's going to be there.
Might be Wednesday. Might be tomorrow.
Might be tomorrow. Might be today. I don't know how that works. I don't know how long it takes to transfer $88+ million. I don't think I'll ever find out. Fingers crossed, though. What this does for the wide receiver market, it sets a new high water mark. You're already hearing Tyreek Hill's agent. All right, we're aware. Probably going to be asking the Dolphins for a restructure here shortly to say, we don't want to be that far out of the top 5 anymore. $35 million per year. That is a boatload of money for a non-quarterback. It wasn't that long ago. Matter of fact, I'm going to see if I can do this quickly. It wasn't that long ago that quarterbacks making $35 million per year was kind of new. Right? It was kind of like, that seems outlandish. Now they're into the 50s. And actually right here, in 2021, the highest cap number for a quarterback was $32 million for Russell Wilson. Only Dak Prescott and Tom Brady were making more than 35 in cash spent that year. That's not even 5 years ago. Wide receivers are making quarterback money, which I said this earlier for the Panthers. Right, you can try to relate it all back to the Panthers. This is good news for the Panthers because they don't have a wide receiver worth it, so make everybody else pay. If you're gonna go ahead and have a Justin Jefferson or a CeeDee Lamb or a Jamar Chase, if you're gonna have a true elite difference maker at wide receiver, at least make them pay for it. At least. That's just so much money. And by the way, I didn't know this about Justin Jefferson. He put out a video kind of announcing that the deal was done, and in it he said, wasn't highly recruited, wasn't the first wide receiver drafted. And in my head, I went, he's doing the elite athlete thing where he's making up slights. Like, he went to LSU. There's no way he wasn't a highly recruited guy. What are we doing here? Went back and looked up his recruiting. Justin Jefferson, literally, not that big of a recruit. He was a 3-star, but it looked like the kind of 3-star that only became a 3-star when LSU offered him. Here were his 4 confirmed offers on 247 Sports. LSU, Tulane, Northwestern, and Nicholls State. Those are the only 4 offers he listed on 247. Shout out to LSU. Recognizing the diamond in the rough. How difficult do you think it was for him to commit to LSU? Do you think he had Nickel State's hats right next to LSU going, oh,
go to Northwestern.
Pick up Tulane. Just joking, LSU. Just for fun, I looked up Jamar Chase as well since they were teammates. He was a 5-star, 19th recruit in the country. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us.
Could improvements be coming to Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte? Possibly. They could possibly be very expensive. Basically, David Tepper is asking for a loan on, $650 million from the city of Charlotte to complete a whole bunch of renovations. I have my thoughts. First of all, it would come, and this is the good news, it would come with a 20-year non-relocation clause. So he could not move the Panthers for 20 years. There would be an out after 15, but that's only if he if he already paid back the entirety of the loan. So 15 years, absolutely, Panthers aren't leaving. That's always good news. Can't have too much reassurance in today's business world. The thing that I don't like is they also put out the mock-ups, and the mock-ups, the renderings, it's still not enclosed.
That's going to be hard to do. Enclose the already existing stadium.
For $650 million?
Yeah, but I'm thinking about timeline. Like, would you have to play a full season somewhere else?
And I don't know. Raleigh?
Carter Finley? I mean,
that'd be awesome for us. It wouldn't be that bad for us. But they have the giant Jumbotron, which is like the length of a football field, outside the stadium. There's really not, what are they, apartment buildings? I've been around there. There's really not, a bunch of outdoor restaurants and seating and stuff.
There is. I mean, it's like a couple blocks up.
But, the screen would be kind of facing, you wouldn't be able to have thousands and thousands and thousands of people watching the game on this giant Jumbotron.
I know there's a park and things like that, or just outside.
Take that money, enclose. It has to be retractable. It's in the NFL, for your team not to be at a disadvantage, it has to be a retractable roof.
Why?
Because if you want to throw the ball that day, you want to be able to eliminate the weather. If it's going to be a monsoon, monsoons are equalizers. If you have the good team, if you have the better team, and there's a monsoon coming through, you want to be able to eliminate that. Every other team in the NFL is going to be able to do it except for the Panthers in 10 years. And they're going to have spent $650 million on not getting that done. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Do the thing that's most important. The Jumbotron on the outside? By the way, don't buy tickets to be on the outside. It's not even a good business proposition. That's number 2. Anything to add?
No.
That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
The one!
Captain's log. 10 days. Still without a GM. Canes. The NHL scouting combine. Yesterday was the day it all got kicked off. Had not had a GM. There's Martin Necas's trade discussions happening. Still don't have a GM. I'm certain there is some benefit to being able to negotiate with Jake Gensel before July because he was on your team. But you need a GM, at least in part, to do it. Or maybe the Knights of the Round Table, the King Arthur's table with the Canes that do everything egalitarian, have already started those conversations. And if you don't know what I mean, Elliot Friedman, Sportsnet, was on his 32 Thoughts podcast and explained that the Canes GM job is maybe not exactly what every other GM's job is going to be. Here it is.
I heard this from someone who did not interview, but knows a couple people who did. And that is that the Hurricanes are making sure everyone's eyes are wide open about how this is all going to work. And that is that whoever gets this job is going to be the manager, but they're not going to have the power. That this job is going to be as a facilitator somebody who collects information and brings it to the other members of the front office, well, including Tom Dundon, who obviously has a huge say. Yeah. But Eric Tulsky, Darren York, whoever's going to fulfill, Aaron Schwartz, whoever's going to be part of that front office. But the new GM hire is not going to have the final say. And what this person told me is that that some people have kind of backed away from the process because of this, that this is not going to be a traditional job.
Not going to be a traditional job. Going to have to be a cog in the wheel rather than the steering wheel themselves. Going to have to be a part of a group making decisions as a unit. I think that takes a very specific kind of general manager. And I'm not sure there are, like, when I say I'm not sure there are many general managers that operate that way, there is some kind of other thing, right? Like a different cause. In order for you to want to be a GM, in order for you to turn in the hours and hours and hours and years paying your dues and being a scout and working your way up and making yourself into a viable candidate, you kind of have to I do think the people that are more willing to do that are also the people that want to have the final say. They want to be the ones. Right? I'm going to try to explain this in a different way. One of my college buddies and I have this theory about tattoos. And it's the whole, like, if you look at the NBA, they have a whole bunch of people that are tattooed necks and hands and everything, and kind of more aggressively visible tattoos than you would see in many other professions.
Okay.
And we were talking about it, and he was like, I was like, I don't know if it's true or not, but people always say it's tough to get jobs if you have, like, neck tats. And I was like, are they did they get them once they knew they were going to be in the NBA? He's like, no. The same thing that told them, get a tattoo, you're going to the NBA, is part of the reason why they get to the NBA. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, they're not, in a lot of ways, there's not, and this is all theory, by the way, this is just conversation. They don't think of the possibility of them not making the NBA. They're like, oh, if I get this neck tattoo, it might be tough for me to get a job in corporate America.
Mm-hmm.
No, they don't think that. They think, get this neck tattoo because I'm going to the league. Who cares? And the same logic that allows them to do that is the logic that says, I could go home and study for this math test tomorrow, but why would I do that? I'm going to the league. So they go to the gym. And they work on their jump shot, and they work on their handles, and they work on their defense, which makes them more likely to get to the league than the people like me or the people like my buddy who are like, I don't know, I should probably, in case I better have this degree to fall back on, I better go study for this math test. Now, we're less likely to make the league than they are because they have more practice. We're more likely to get a job other than, but that's irrelevant, right? Now, are there a bunch of people that operate like them and don't get to the league? Yeah. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying, what type of person ends up being a GM? The type of people that, like, maybe it's not that don't think of consequences. Maybe it's the type of people that are headstrong enough, ego-filled enough to think they want to make all the decisions in a multi-billion-dollar business. They want to be the ones making the tough decisions. Those are the people that want to be GMs. Those are the people that want to run a franchise of just a whole bunch of strong athletes, former athletes, up and down that organization. So I'm not sure you're going to get a ton of applicants if you're like, hey, we want a GM, but you're going to be 1/8 of the decision making. They're going like, you think I paid all those dues to not get to make the decisions? I'll wait. Thanks. Just something to think about. Something else to think about? I'm Tim Donnelly for Window Nation. Window Nation is extending its semi-annual sale, which is 50% off all window styles plus 0% interest for 5 years and an additional bonus if you schedule an appointment this week throughout the month. They're extending the semi-annual sale throughout the month of June. I've talked about this a lot. Quite frankly, if I needed windows, Window Nation would be my first call because of their trustworthiness. Right? Your house, in many cases, in my case, in my wife's case, the house is our biggest investment, right? It's where the most of our net worth is tied up, and you don't want to mess with it, right? You want to keep it up. If the something looks not right. You want to get it fixed because those little things add up to bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger problems. One of the ways that you can have bigger and bigger and bigger problems, if moisture gets where it shouldn't, right? And that's real bad, right? Then mold becomes a thing, and you got to start worrying about smells, and you got to start worrying about eradicating it. Keep the water outside. Leaky windows, seals on your windows that have gone bad, caulking on your windows that is cracked. All of that can add up to big, big problems. And it simply just doesn't happen with Window Nation because their materials are grade A. Their installation is done with a multi-check process. And when I say multi, I mean 20-point installation inspection. Their installers, the people that do it for you, can get it done in 1 day or less. There's a lifetime warranty, and they have years and years and years of experience. It's all happening at Window Nation. Semi-annual sale, 50% off all styles of windows, 0% interest for 5 years, and an additional bonus discount for booking your appointment this week. So go ahead and give them a call, 866-90-NATION. Book this week, 866-90-NATION. Or you can go online to book as well. Just head over to windownation.com. That's windownation.com. We need numbers game contestants. Dennis, what are we giving away today?
Today, we are actually giving away a pair of tickets to see Dave Matthews Band coming to Coastal Credit Union next Friday, June 14th.
You know I have a hard time not doing my Dave Matthews impression.
Yeah, I know you don't.
Dave Matthews tickets. That's a joke, by the way. I know there's Dave Matthews fans that are very, very sensitive. Dave Matthews tickets going to the winner of the numbers game. If you want to win the tickets, you got to call in now to play the numbers game, and then you got to win the numbers game. The number to call, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Numbers game coming up next.
The Adam Gold Show.
I came here from Baltimore where I was working on a morning show, and I felt like those are the greatest hours in the world. Seriously, I'm not even lying, because I was done every day, certainly by noon, sometimes earlier. It was like having every day off. I used to love the hours. Man, my golf handicap was low. I was good.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
And the best artist with the best new scratch-offs, Mr. First Tuesday!
Wow. I'm so proud my music is bringing luck and joy to so many people. First, I'd like to thank those who invented the calendar, and to all the First Tuesdays many years ago, and to all scratchers out there. No matter if you use your nail or a coin, we all share the same First Tuesday love. First Tuesday kisses to you all.
New scratch-offs every first Tuesday of the month.
Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
This is Creighton Blackwell with Coastal Credit Union and 99.9 The Fan. Today, we're at Athens Drive Magnet High School, and we're here to celebrate our next Scholar Athlete of the Month, Connor O'Toole.
What does winning this award mean to you?
I think it means a lot. Past 4 years, I've put in a lot of work in athletics and in school. I'm glad to see it's paying off, but also all my friends have helped me along the way to elevate my game.
You're involved in a service organization. What kind of impact does this work have in other aspects of your life?
Yeah, so it's not just about getting those service hours in. For example, for Science National Honor Society, when we're taking those invasive plants out of the lake, that's a lake that we run every day at practice. And it's just good to see the community cleaned up, and it's helping everyone around it as well.
Having Connor on our teams has really just meant a consistent, reliable leader and somebody who kids are drawn to. So you ask him to do something, he'll get it done right the first time. And then other kids will follow his lead, really in anything.
He's always pushing us to be a better person, not just on the track, not just during cross country, but in school and everything.
It's just that family feeling. We're all working together. For friends, we practice together, we train together, so that means we're getting better together. And it's just a great thing to be a part of, having so much support.
Such a hard-working kid, and I love him to death. He motivates me every day and pushes me to my limits.
Congratulations, Connor.
For 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, head to WRALSportsFan.com, keyword award.
It's bow time.
Listen up, because we've got some big news to share. You might want to sit down for this. Bo Sauce is back at Bojangles. If you think you missed it, just imagine how our Supremes must have felt. Because there's no better sauce to pair with our crispy golden chicken Supremes. They're already boldly seasoned to perfection, but add Bo Sauce and you can taste a truly legendary combination that will make you want to yell, "It's Bo time!" So don't wait. Grab a Supreme and dip into some Bo Sauce. It's Bo time.
There's no time like Bo time. Time to stop whatever you're doing to satisfy your craving for flavor with a Bojangles Chicken Supremes dinner. Choose a 3-piece or 4-piece Supremes dinner. Get your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea. And don't forget the sauce for dipping, because Bo Sauce is back. That's right, Bo Sauce is back. Hungry for flavor and value and love the Bo Sauce? Then it's Bo time.
Get ready to be captivated by a gun range like no other. Hey, it's Victoria Vodenecker here for Youngsville Gun Club and Range, the only live-fire digital indoor shooting range on the East Coast. It's open to the public, offers 20 modern shooting lanes, and carries one of the largest selections around. And speaking of the selection, YGC has the hottest firearms to accommodate individual preferences and the best prices in the area. Youngsville Gun Club and Range is conveniently located off US 1 in Youngsville, and for $10 off a range card, use promo code SPORTS. Learn more at ygunrange.com. That's the letter Y, gunrange.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. We have Mitchell and Carey and Stephen and Raleigh on the line, and they are competing for Dave Matthews Band tickets. As always, we need to ask a question to see who goes first. Mitchell and Carey, we will start with you. What was the highlight of your weekend sports related? We need your sports highlight of the past weekend. What was it?
It would have been the Mavericks making it to the finals.
Okay, all right. And that's a solid answer. We'll go to Stephen and Raleigh. Stephen, what is the what was the highlight of your weekend sports related?
The Portland Open Disc Golf Tournament.
The Portland Open Disc Golf Tournament. Give me some background. Why was that such a sweet place?
I used to play professional disc golf, so it was, cool to see my friends that I used to compete with out there playing an Elite Series event. It's a beautiful course on a ball golf course, and it's just an awesome sport. I have more people start playing.
All right. You know what? I'm going to go with the disc golf because it's more off the beaten path. I've never played disc golf, but I see the little chain things, the holes, I guess. And
I'll stay on afterwards if you want to get together and play.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't want to embarrass myself though. I don't like doing things that I can't win at, and I have a feeling you're pretty good since you used to be a pro. The categories that you get to choose from are NFL Brian. These are all players with the first name Brian. NFL Gig'em. Those are all players with Texas A&M as their college. NBA current players only, or NHL Canes and Whalers only.
We'll go with Brian, NFL.
All right. These are all players with the first name Brian. I will give you their name, first and last, and their team. Give me their jersey number as quickly as you can. You have 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Any last-second questions?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Brian Urlacher, Chicago Bears.
54.
Correct. Brian Robinson Jr., Washington Commanders.
8.
Correct. Brian Burns, Carolina Panthers.
58.
Incorrect. Brian Mitchell, Washington Redskins.
Brian Mitchell, 30.
Correct. Brian Westbrook, Philadelphia Eagles.
28.
Incorrect. Brian Burns, Carolina Panthers.
Pass.
Brian Westbrook.
24.
36 for Brian Westbrook.
36.
Brian Burns, you said 58. You might have seen it in your mind's eye. Almost correct. It was 53 when he first got to the league. Then he transitioned to 0. Every single answer you gave, even the 3 correct, you had a question mark on the end of. You were 54, and it was right. And 8, but they were. You went up with it. But, hey, wins are a right answer is a right answer, so you got 3 of them. Solid answer. Sit on the line. We'll see if it holds up for the tickets, all right?
All right, man. Thanks.
Appreciate it. Let's go to Mitchell and Carey. Mitchell, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, the categories that you get to choose from that are remaining are NFL Gig 'em, all Texas A&M alum, NBA current players only, or NHL Canes and Whalers only?
Let's go with the NBA players.
NBA. I had a feeling when you said your highlight was the Mavs winning. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. You need 4 for the win. You do have 1 pass if you need it. Any last-second questions?
Nope, we're good.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. D'Angelo Russell, Los Angeles Lakers.
12.
Incorrect. Donovan Mitchell, Cleveland Cavaliers.
21.
Incorrect. D'Angelo Russell, Los Angeles Lakers.
23.
Incorrect. Donovan Mitchell, Cleveland Cavaliers.
23.
Incorrect. D'Angelo Russell, Los Angeles Lakers.
25.
Incorrect. Donovan Mitchell, Cleveland Cavaliers.
22.
Incorrect. D'Angelo Russell, Los Angeles Lakers.
17.
Incorrect. Donovan Mitchell, Cleveland Cavaliers.
29.
You were dead set on one of them being in the 20s. Neither of them were, but you were going to search it out.
The guards have to be in the 20s.
D'Angelo Russell wore number 1 with the Lakers, and Donovan Mitchell with the Cavs wears number 45. Unfortunately, 0 is not enough for the win, but hopefully you had some fun playing.
That's all right. I love listening to you guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you a bunch for listening. That means Steven in Raleigh is the winner. Steven, congratulations.
Yeah.
You get to see Dave Matthews. Big fan?
Who's opening for him?
Who's opening for him? I don't know.
Not a fan of Dave Matthews, but I'll take the tickets.
All right, yeah. Well, maybe take a friend who is a fan.
I'm sure my girl will love it.
There you go. Hey, earn some points that way. Appreciate you for playing. Appreciate you for having a good time with us. And sit on the line. Dennis has to get some info from you to make sure you get your tickets.
Thanks, man.
I kind of respect it that he's just out there like, I'm just in it for the win. The tickets. That's a side note to the glory that comes with winning the game, which is all he was out there to do.
Yeah, no idea who's opening.
No idea. When is the concert though? Give that
next Friday, June 14th.
Oh wow, coming up quick, June 14th. Dave Matthews coming to the area. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dennis, you have something for the people?
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. One of the things that we love as being fans, whether it's your favorite sports team, hockey, football, college, whatever it might be, or just hobbies that you're involved with, you love being part of that community. And that's where Law Tigers comes in for people who ride motorcycles. As someone who's relatively still new to riding a motorcycle, you're part of that community. You're instantly part of it. And this is where Law Tigers, if you get in a motorcycle accident, when they come in, they're part of that community as well. They ride motorcycles. They understand everything about your gear, what it's worth to you, what it's like being out there on the road, on the bike. They're part of that community as well. And this is the reason why you got to call Law Tigers. If you're in a motorcycle accident and you're injured, you got to call them before you call your insurance company, because the insurance company only wants to give you the least amount of money possible. Law Tigers, again, they're riders too. They understand what your bike and your gear are worth and what you're going through after an accident. Your case evaluation is always free, and they do not get paid until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're going to take a break. When we come back, you can look towards, or look to, I should say, a couple of athletes who played their college right here in the Triangle. If you need solutions to the WNBA's problem with hard fouls on Caitlin Clark, stick around.
This is Gordon Miller, founder of Miller Lending in Cary, with 2 exciting announcements. Back in 1950, my father and uncle moved to Detroit and opened Miller Brothers Realty, a business they ran for the next 50 years. Fast forward to 1996, and I moved my family to Raleigh and opened D&J Mortgage, a company I'd named after my children. And today I'm happy to announce my sons Daniel and Justin will be leading Miller Lending as we head towards 100 years in real estate and lending, all the while following the one basic principle I learned growing up in that environment. Always treat your customer as you'd want to be treated yourself. Now, while Miller Lending has long been associated with our popular no closing cost program, I'm also excited to announce the opening of our purchase money division with a strong emphasis toward helping first-time homebuyers navigate the mortgage process. So whether you're buying a new home or simply refinancing the home you're in, call Miller Lending and experience the benefit of working with a locally owned family business. In Cary, 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 2502146.
The story of the nurse and the foot pain that nearly brought him down.
I feel like I'm giving people their lives back.
Robert lived to take care of his patients, but he couldn't do it unless he took care of his foot pain.
I have plantar fasciitis. It'll almost put you on your knees. That's how much it hurts.
His own recovery started when he got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet store.
Now that I'm pain free, I can make these people feel better.
Can't beat that. Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com. A story of first downs and second chances. Meet former pro football player Michael Robinson.
I wanted to keep playing, but my feet hurt.
And all those big league experts couldn't help?
You have access to anything, but none of it worked.
Finally, he got fitted with Good Feet arch supports.
Let me tell you something. They work.
Now, he recommends Good Feet to
anybody. If you move, go to the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store is in Raleigh, Chapel Hill, Fayetteville, and other locations across North Carolina. Visit goodfeet.com to book your appointment today, or just stop by the store nearest you.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Adam Golden studio with my friend Dallas Rhule from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. When people come over to the showroom, they see all of these great doors. I'm not saying that this is what you guys specialize in. You specialize in everything, but let's talk some doors.
The doors are a great way to beautify your home. And when you come into the showroom, one of the first things I ask you to do is to open and close the door. It's a big difference. So with the doors, you pick out the hardware, you pick out the colors, you pick out the style. They come in fiberglass, they come in steel. We got multiple glass options. It's a great way to improve your home. It's easy to do. It's affordable. And these doors, a lot of times you go in and out the door 10, 20 times a day. You might open the windows 10 times a year.
Though that is true. By the way, I'm not sure I've ever walked through my front door.
You're not the only one.
Yeah, we use the back door.
The back door is side door. We do those also.
All right. That's Dallas Rhule from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. 800-672-4348 on Hamlin Road in Durham. AluminumCompany.com. Check them out if you need a door.
Seasons change. Why not your tech? Upgrade now during the Dell Technologies Summer Sale event and save on select PCs like the XPS 16 powered by Intel Core processors. You'll be able to bring your most intensive projects to life with built-in AI, minimalistic design, immersive visuals, and cinematic audio. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics plus free shipping on everything. Amazing prices await you for a limited time only at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Where can you find a place that not only offers amazing food, but also a super unique and fun atmosphere? Hey, it's Victoria Bodenecker here to tell you that place is Norse Brewing Company in Wake Forest. There's also Norse Brewing Longhouse in Zebulon, but both locations offer a mouth-watering menu with a Scandinavian twist. They also make all of their adult beverages in-house. Plus, speaking of the aesthetic, you will completely embrace your inner Viking when you go here. Don't just take my word for it, though. Please go check them out for yourself. Find out more information at norsebrewingco.com.
It's the summer of soccer in the Triangle with TST Stars competing for $1 million and Manchester City taking on Celtic at UNC in July. Get discounted tickets at fcseries.com/Carolina and use code Triangle. Again, fcseries.com/Carolina and use code Triangle.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Everyone's talking about the WNBA, which is a good thing for the WNBA.
It's great for the league.
There's part of that old saying, no publicity is bad publicity, is true. But the WNBA still has a problem. The problem is Caitlin Clark is a lightning rod of attention, and certain people are going to take that different ways. And what I mean by that is sometimes she's going to be the target of hard fouls. She's going to be the target of maybe a cheap shot or two. And the league should protect its stars the same way other leagues protect their stars, I should say. But I'm not sure the league should actually do anything about it, which is what all the calls are for. I'm not sure this is a problem solved by the league or by a rules committee or by a ref. I think it's kind of like, if you're getting bullied, the last thing you want to have happen is have like your mom or dad go to the playground and say, "Hey, stop bullying my kid," because that's just going to ramp it up even worse, right? You don't want the ref to have to start protecting Caitlin Clark because that's just going to make everybody else even more put a target on her.
So for those who don't know, she has been the subject or recipient of several hard fouls in games.
And she was the number one overall pick.
Pick. Face of women's basketball right now, to be honest.
Which is probably where some of this is coming from.
Sure.
So let's hear from Monica McNutt, ESPN, who covers the WNBA.
This conversation is quite nauseating at this point because it is absolutely, hey, Rook, welcome to this league. Like the only special treatment are all, granted, I'll give her credit, the new eyeballs that she's brought to this league that want to see her be treated like a ballerina, but that's not it, y'all. And I think to act as if Caitlin is not a competitor and as if she don't be craftily figuring out ways to get her shots in, like, what are we talking about? And so I think this conversation is, in my mind, teetering heavily on disrespecting the game, both Caitlin's individual game, in my mind, and the rest of these women in the league. Because competition, y'all, when has that ever looked like a Broadway performance? You're competing.
There's Monica McNutt's perspective on it. Caitlin Clark was asked about the hard foul by Kennedy Carter, a player who many say was a cheap shot.
We saw the play in the third quarter where Carter kind of decked you. Mm-hmm. How do you respond to that and stay within yourself when maybe you weren't expecting that?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it, but I think it's just like, just respond, come down, let your play do the talking. It is what it is. It's a physical game. Go make the free throw and then execute on offense. And I feel like that's kind of what we did, but, it is what it is, I guess. I don't know.
It is what it is, I guess. I don't know. Here's where the players that played their college basketball in the triangle, you can learn something. Now, I want to be clear. This one, like, hard and fast. I am not saying she is this level of player of either of them. I am not saying she is this for women's basketball. But I think she can learn something from Michael Jordan. Not saying she's Michael Jordan. Just, it's an analogy. It's there's a through line here.
Just like you said, a lesson learned.
Get yourself a Charles Oakley. Michael Jordan used to get himself beat up in the NBA by all of the old timers that didn't like that he had the shoe and didn't like that he had the fame and didn't like that he had all of this other stuff going on, and they would light him up. And then Charles Oakley came around. And suddenly it was, if you touch up Michael Jordan, you're getting yourself touched up. The other thing is, hit the gym. Go back and look at Michael Jordan rookie year and look at Michael Jordan when they went on the 2-3-peats. You might think that the Michael Jordan from the 90s ate the Michael Jordan from the 80s. He went from a skinny kid fresh out of college to somebody that could take the physical wear and tear of being the target of physicality in the league. Caitlin Clark, for as unbelievable as a shooter as she is, and for as unbelievable of a player as she is skinny, right? And look at somebody like Diana Taurasi, who's been in the league a lot longer. Look at somebody, a Maya Moore even, and you can tell they're in the gym. They're moving weight. They're getting strong to put up with, especially back in their day, they were doing full seasons in the WNBA, then going overseas and doing full seasons with no off season. So they were just constantly in that grind. Caitlin Clark could physically take some of the grind the same way Michael Jordan had to. Go back and look at Giannis as a rookie. Giannis now.
Oh, gosh.
Take a picture of Victor Wembanyama now. 10 years from now, it's not going to look the same.
Mm-hmm.
You can get in the gym and help you become more apt to deal with the physicality that comes away with being a number one option in a professional sport. The other person I think you can look at is J.J. Redick, specifically J.J. Redick at Duke.
Okay.
Caitlin Clark, when she gets cheap shot, when there's a late foul, when she falls to the ground, when there's a hard screen, she still does like the oh my goodness and look to the ref. If you go back and watch J.J. Redick at Duke, particularly like sophomore, junior year J.J., if he got knocked down, he was clapping, he was nodding. If somebody yelled something to him, if somebody singled him out because of who he was or because of what he represented or anything, he didn't, there was no hesitation. He embraced it, which is one way to get through it. My point is, if they make rules more strict or if they start judging the fouls on her differently, that's not going to take her out of the crosshairs of the rest of the league. Matter of fact, it might put the spotlight on her brighter. So instead, deal with it, right? Because there's nothing more frustrating than somebody that cheap shots you and it doesn't affect you, right? If you're going down into the lane and somebody hard fouls you and you make the shot anyway, I mean, now you're talking about, okay, they might stop because now they're just giving up fouls and points. Like now you can get to the point where the respect will come in. Now you get to the point where, right, like Jordan was later in his career. Then the refs can give you the Jordan rules and everybody doesn't act like it's a problem. They act like you've earned it. Right? Because the Jordan rules were, you can't touch Jordan. But they didn't establish those rules until like 94. You got to get a couple titles under your belt before you get the Jordan rules.
I mean, you see this in every sport.
Yep.
Rookies are always going to be like, all right, we're going to challenge you. We're going to test you and see how you handle it because you're a rookie. If I can get under your skin and throw you off your game, I'm going to do that.
Well, I mean,
we see it all the time in every sport.
What is the defensive coordinator's rookie quarterback plan? Blitz all night.
Yeah.
And if there's a close one, hit him. That's what it's got to be.
And it's honestly, to me, it's a sign of respect to her level of play because you don't do that to the ninth person on the bench. You don't do that. You do that to the star player to see if you can rattle them, take them off their game because they know how good she is.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you see it in every sport.
She can shoot the lights out.
Oh, yeah. You think it didn't happen for when, Andrei Svechnikov his rookie year? Hey, Rook, I'm going to try and get under your skin here in the playoffs. Or, heck, we saw people probably pick on Seth Jarvis. He's been in the league for 3 seasons for the Carolina Hurricanes. Everyone does it. It's no different.
And you just got to find your way to deal with it. You got to find your way to thrive anyway, which is what I'm kind of getting at. But she's bringing eyeballs to the WNBA. We're talking about the WNBA June 3rd. That's good for the league. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Starting off Overdrive, we're going to look at that team that Dennis just mentioned, the Carolina Hurricanes, Andrei Svechnikov, Seth Jarvis. They don't have a GM 10 days into the search. Why not? Also, subscribe to our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. We would greatly appreciate it. Other than that, we'll see you tomorrow at 3. Have a great night, everybody.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Do you think it's fair to say that regardless, Anthony Edwards has already taken that moniker face of the league and run with it? I guess when I think about it, I think of regardless of the matchup, is this person who I'm going to revolve my night around? Am I going to say, oh, Luka's playing, I need to make sure that I'm sitting down to watch this game? Because
No.
I feel that way about Ant.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here from my friends at Buffalo Brothers. We're close to crowning a champion in hockey. When I'm not calling playoff games around the country, the first thing I do when I'm back in the Triangle is head to Buffalo Brothers, the best wings on the planet, and a great place to watch all the big games. Visit all 5 Triangle locations for great specials, like half-price appetizers, Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6, and $6 Jamesons on Sunday. Dine in, carry out, buffbrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Grab a frosty mug and try the newest flavor from Bluebell, A&W Root Beer Float Ice Cream. A creamy vanilla-flavored ice cream swirled together with an A&W Root Beer flavored sherbet. A new way to enjoy your favorite root beer float.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at all Walgreens and all Lowe's food stores.
Helping kids find their place, stay safe, and learn is the most fulfilling job imaginable. Be part of that journey with the Wake County Public School System. Now hiring bus drivers, mechanics, and instructional assistants, and offering competitive salaries, attractive benefits including retirement, and opportunities to grow. Whether you want a flexible job driving buses, maintaining and repairing them, or a rewarding position helping teachers, you'll love working for the largest school district in North Carolina. Apply now at careers.wcpss.net and discover a place where anything is possible.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loan, and personal loans. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760.